아직 영웅도 장비도 별로 없는 메루링이지만 드래프트 모드 덕분에 아레나의 비기를 깨달아가고 있거든요. 메루링, 드래프트 모드에 반짝반짝 떠오르는 별이랄까나. 그래서 오늘 찾아오신다는 손님은 바로 메루링의 특급 우편 등장! 드래프트 아레나!
기분이 좋아 보이는군, 고양이 꼬리 소녀.
우와, 벤토스님 어서오세요. 저번에 알려주신 드래프트 모드에 한창 재미를 붙이고 있는 메루링이랄까나.
이미 다 지켜봐서 알고 있지. 실력이 많이 늘었던데?
이제 메루링 누구와의 대결도 자신 있습니다.
오호, 그래? 자신감이 넘치는 고양이 꼬리 소녀에게 좋은 소식을 하나 알려주려고 하는데,
두근 어떤 소식인가요?
그동안 월드 아레나 모의전에서만 플레이가 가능했던 드래프트 모드를 정규 아레나로 승격하기로 결정했다고.
역시 피라미드의 베테랑 안내자 벤토스님. 더 많은 계승자님들과 만나고 싶은 메루링의 마음을 알아주신 거군요.
그렇다고 할 수 있지. 드래프트 모드는 이제 드래프트 아레나가 되어 아레나 화면을 통해 바로 입장할 수 있게 되었다는 말씀. 무작위 상대와 실시간으로 매칭시켜줘서 더 편리하게 전투를 즐길 수 있지.
우와! 그럼 이제 모의전에서 상대가 찾아오길 기다리지 않아도 되는 거군요.
그렇지. 다만
드래프트
아레나는 하루 중 이용 가능한 시간에 제한이 있을 예정이야. 2시간씩 3번에 걸쳐 하루 총 6시간 정도?
어허! 그렇다면 정해진 시간에 맞춰 많은 인원이 모이게 될 테니 더 좋겠네요.
이 벤투스님의 뜻을 바로 알아채다니 놀랍군.
무럭무럭 성장하는 메루링이랄까나.
드래프트 아레나는 계정 랭크 40부터 이용이 가능해. 그리고 아레나나 월드 아레나와는 다르게 시즌제도 랭킹도 존재하지 않으니까 누구든지 부담 없이 재미있게 즐길 수 있지.
우와! 랭킹이 생기면 고수분들이 너무 많이 오셔서 드래프트 모드가 어려워질까봐 걱정했는데 안심이랄까나. 그렇다면 새롭게 추가된 사항은 없나요?
물론 있지. 첫째로 영웅 교체 기능이 새롭게 추가돼.
영웅 교체 기능이요?
영웅 교체 기능이란 양측 플레이어가 5번의 드래프트를 진행하는 동안 마음에 드는 영웅이 등장하지 않았을 때 1회 한정으로 현재 등장한 3명의 영웅을 모두 교체할 수 있게 해주는 기능이야. 이때 새롭게 등장하는 3명의 영웅은 기존의 양측 플레이어 모두에게 한 번도 등장하지 않았던 새로운 영웅들인데, 잘만 활용한다면 새로운 전략적 요소로 사용할 수 있지만 새로 등장하는 영웅들의 조합이 기존에 등장한 영웅들보다 어울릴 거란 보장은 없지 않을까?
딱 한 번만 교체할 수 있다니 신중하게 고민해서 사용해야겠군요.
맞아, 아주 잘 이해하고 있어, 고양이 꼬리 소녀. 그리고 일부 영웅들은 능력치나 아티팩트, 전용 장비가 한 종류로만 세팅되지 않고 다르게 세팅된 모습으로도 등장하게 될 거야. 그럼 같은 영웅이라도 다른 느낌으로 사용할 수 있겠지?
우와! 그럼 영웅들의 세팅 상태에 따라 다양한 전략을 구사할 수 있겠네요. 하지만 그런 영웅이 등장했을 때 바로 선택하기보다는 어떻게 세팅되어 있는지 잘 확인하는 것도 중요하겠어요.
바로 그거야. 이해가 빠른데, 고양이 꼬리 소녀. 드래프트 아레나에선 자신의 실력과 비슷한 상대와 매칭되니까 걱정하지 말고 편하게 즐겨보라고.
좋아요! 드래프트 모드에 반짝반짝 떠오르는 별에 이어 메루링 드래프트 아레나의 초신성에 도전해보겠어요. 메루링의 특급 우편 드래프트 아레나 1분기 배송 예정. 드래프트 모드를 활용하여 무작위 상대와 편리하게 대결할 수 있는 드래프트 아레나는 주기적으로 새로운 영웅들이 추가되며 2가지 이상의 세팅을 가진 영웅들도 등장합니다. 또한 드래프트된 영웅들이 마음에 들지 않을 경우 교체할 수 있는 영웅 교체 기능도 추가되어 더욱 전략적으로 조합을 구성하여 대결할 수 있습니다. 자세한 내용은 업데이트 공지를 확인해주세요. 클로에님으로부터 편지가 왔네요. 무슨 내용일까나? 여왕님의 백성 메루링에게 여왕님을 위해 꼭 널리 알려줬으면 하는 소식이 있어. 클로에를 찾아왔죠. 강철 공방에서의 새로운 소식인가봐요. 그럼 성역으로 가볼까? 어라? 보낸 곳이 폴리티아의 메이드 킹덤? 이 먼 곳까지 무슨 일이실까나? 조금 멀긴 하지만 그래도 가봐야겠죠. 발빠른 소녀 배달부 메루링, 지금 바로 출발하겠습니다. 메루링의 특급 우편 스위치 앤 뮤직. 멀다. 여기가 폴리티아 메이드 카페가 있는 골목이랄까나. 두근두근 들어가 보겠어요. 클로에님, 저 왔어요. 메루링이에요. 빠빠빰! 여왕님의 왕국에 어서 와. 우와, 메이드복을 입은 클로에님. 여기가 폴리티아의 명소 메이드 킹덤이로군요. 그런데 널리 알려줬으면 하는 소식이 뭐예요? 들어봐 메루링, 곧 있으면 스위치 앤 뮤직 페스티벌이 열린단 말이야. 메루링, 이미 다 꿰고 있죠. 멋진 음악과 달콤한 디저트를 함께 즐기는 축제잖아요. 메루링도 알고 있었어? 나만 몰랐나? 아무튼 뮤직 페스티벌에 우리 메이드 킹덤이 빠질 수 없잖아. 그렇죠. 게다가 이번엔 우리 메이드 킹덤이 대규모 투자를 받아서 4인조 밴드 공연을 한다는 말씀. 케이스는 투자가 아니라 사기라고 했지만 아무튼 열심히 쾅쾅쾅 빵빵 해서 공연도 성공할 거고 다 잘 될 거야. 걱정 마. 사기요? 쾅쾅쾅 쾅쾅? 쾅쾅쾅. 클로이는 드럼을 칠 거거든. 드럼이라 쾅쾅이군요. 그럼 리마님은 당연히 기타를 치시겠고 다른 분들은요? 키보드에는 기대하라고. 두구두구두구두구 샤이닝 스타 타마린드. 네? 지난 프로미스 싱글 이후 대스타가 된 타마린드님이요? 어떻게 그분을? 당연히 납치했지. 네? 납치요? 왜? 무슨 문제 있어? 그래. 클로이님이 납치라고 했지만 섭외를 잘못 말씀하신 걸 거야. 가끔 말을 특이하게 하시니까 그럴 거야. 그럼 베이스는요? 베이스는 우리의 비밀 멤버. 다 말해버리면 재미없으니까 직접 공연을 보러 오라고. 우리 멤버들이 직접 쓴 신곡 발표도 있으니까 기대해. 메루링의 특급 우편 스위치 앤 뮤직 2월 배송 예정. 여러 사건에 휘말리며 새로운 멤버를 찾고 있는 메이드 킹덤. 클로에님은 새로운 멤버들과 함께 무사히 우정의 이야기를 노래할 수 있을까요? 2024 발렌타인 특별한 서브스토리 미라클 메이드 킹덤이 곧 시작됩니다. 여왕님의 가게에 놀러와. 서비스 잔뜩 해줄게. 펄펄 눈이 옵니다. 하늘에서 눈이 옵니다. 겨울을 맞아 눈사람 펫을 만들어 볼 거예요. 이렇게 눈사람 펫을 만드니까 지난 겨울에 만들었던 눈사람 펫이 생각나네요. 이름도 지어줬었는데. 메루링, 함께하는 펫이 많아서 아쉬운 작별을 했었는데. 원하는 펫을 필요할 때 데리고 다닐 수 있는 방법은 없을까나? 이럴 땐 역시 고민 해결사 이어링 언니! 메로링의 특급 우편! 펫의 변신은 무죄! 그리고 가루의 원정대 편지! 언니!
메루링. 오늘은 무슨 일이야?
언니! 메로링이 데리고 있는 펫들 아시죠?
그럼 토벌에 같이 가는 충견 카일라랑 서브 스토리를 같이 가는 토깽이랑 정령의 재단을 함께하는 팡두까지 모두 메루링이 소중하게 키웠잖아.
맞아요! 그리고 균열을 함께할 펫은 특별히 눈사람으로 만들고 싶어요.
그래? 메루링, 눈사람을 만들어 본 적이 있니?
물론이죠. 이미 예전에 만들어 본 적이
있지만?
겨울이 지나면서 놓아줘서 지금은 없답니다. 하지만 꼭 다시 함께하고 싶어요. 어떻게 눈사람을 다시 만들 수 있는 방법이 없을까요?
그렇다면 도감에서 획득해 본 적이 있는 외형의 펫을 기억해내서 외형을 변환해보면 어떨까? 이미 펫의 외형을 변환할 수 있는 기능은 있으니까 이 기능을 활용해서 도감에서 얻은 적 있는 펫의 외형을 언제든지 바꿀 수 있도록 하는 거야.
우와, 이어링 언니는 정말 천재야. 그럼 어디? 눈사람 나와라. 얍! 그렇다는 것은 언제든 카일라와 토끼니와 팡들을 다시 데려올 수 있다는 거니까. 짜자잔! 메르링의 겨울팩 에디션 완성이에요. 귀엽고 깜찍한 메르링을 닮은 겨울 왕국이랄까나.
메루링? 아이들이 녹고 있는 것 같은데?
안돼! 메르링의 겨울 왕국이. 언니, 저 나가볼게요. 안녕. 메르링의 특급 우편. 펫의 변신은 무죄. 2월 배송 예정. 획득했던 기록이 도감에 존재하는 경우 보유 중인 펫의 외형을 도감에서 찾아 언제든지 변환할 수 있습니다. 업데이트 시 그동안 분양을 통해 등장하였던 모든 한정 펫들을 다시 분양받을 수 있습니다. 참참! 마지막으로 카로 씨가 영상 편지를 보내왔어요. 편지 내용이 너무너무 궁금하지만 편지는 받는 사람만 봐야 하니까 메루링 이만 가볼게요.
안녕. 우리 자주 만났지? 요즘 원정대가 많아져서 너무 바쁘단 말이지. 아마 너도 바쁠 거야. 우리 서로 일을 줄여보는 게 어때? 어때? 적당한 거래인가? 원정대 결과도 그냥 한 번에 말해줄게. 보상도 한 번에 받아가도록 해. 이왕이면 수배 전단도 한 번에 개시하도록 해. 그 편이 서로 좋잖아? 그럼 언제든 좋은 정보가 있으면 알려줘. 잘 가. 인연이 닿으면 또 보자고.
So this is Miracle Maid Kingdom stage. Should we start the show? I'm Laya, the new member of Miracle Maid Kingdom. It's showtime. I'll do my best. This again. I can't take it anymore. My bad.
How's this, you arrogant punk?
It's just one thing after another, isn't it? Now that I'm all warmed up,
Let's do this for real.
Would you care to share a dance with me? We can waltz until the black oceans dry up.
More than 10 girls have already been sacrificed as brides. That Dragon King sure is a terribly greedy dragon. I knew it! Technique is more important than strength.
It's you, Senya. Forget about all of that and focus on your happiness and health. Sleep tight, my child.
How pathetic. I'll kill you.
Hold up.
I think I know what's gonna happen here.
I didn't say first pick believe in him.
Which one do you go for? Ooh.
No. This can't be happening.
Going for it.
Immediately.
It does do 22,000.
Oh, here we go. Once again, Specimen says the light storm. This time on the perfect target. Nothing survives. Goes with S2. Oh, the Revenant Island is gone. And the stuns. Says is locked in for the first time.
I think I know what's gonna happen.
This is it.
Specimen says will be the hero of the day. Oh my God.
Only the strong survive.
the speak here on Kenny. I said it. What the? It is over. Show me one more. The 1-2.
초비상 끝내야 때 마무리가 안 되고 나니까 이게 올라가는 일만 있고.
Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to Content Creator Battle EpicSeven 2024. My name's G Clef, and today we have some special Far Pancakes and Divine. Welcome, you guys, and I missed all of you guys out there. And how are you doing? This is week 2, day number 3. Kind of crazy that we're actually having 2 weeks of Content Creator Battle, as the things are going exactly fine. How are you doing, Pancakes?
I'm good. How are you, G Clef?
Doing okay. I'm doing super fine. Good to see you on camera. It's great to have you on my side. And Divine, welcome back from last weekend.
Yep. Ready to see how these matches wrap up. Left a bad taste when I didn't get to see everything that happened. The action kept me engaged.
Yeah, it's going to be real fun action again. It's going to be starting from the semifinals today, as we had quarterfinals last week. 2 weeks. I think every year we're actually upgrading into more content, longer content creator battle, which I like the most. And by the way, talking content, we just had some hot drops of EpicSeven YouTube future content yesterday. I hope you guys actually got a chance to see all of those videos from Maryland Express mails. Those are the best mails of your lifetimes, of course, all the time. So if you missed it, EpicSeven YouTube, that's where you want to go to check out every single thing that's going to happen in near future and also in the future about the new hero. There are some heroes, and while we're talking about this, we can actually talk about it. Did you get to see some of your maybe new favorite waifus or husbandos in the future?
Before we get into that, might I remind everybody, make sure you're subscribed to the EpicSeven YouTube so you don't miss these updates. Because when new content drops, you want to be the first one to see it. So make sure you go to the official YouTube and subscribe.
Yes, Divine? Did you want to say something?
No, I was going to say, it wasn't just the content I saw, it was the content I heard, because I recognized some of those voices almost instantaneously. I'm excited for the ML Politics, as well as everything else that'll be going on. So
yes, soon
happy
enough.
To see that reaching out.
Soon enough, we'll be having a lot more Senya in game too. I'm very excited for Senyas, multiple Senyas to come into game. That'll be soon enough. We'll have at least 3, maybe a full team of Senyas in RTA real soon. So that's about that. As we are back into week number 2, we do have the matchup ready for the semifinals. Let's take a look. That's today's matchup from last week. The Zoo defeating Positive Charge. Win Fast defeating Momotaro. Will be up first as our first semifinal match. The Zoo versus Win Fast. That's a really hype match. And going down to the bottom, Attack on Titan, who defeated Turtle Player. Maybe they were a little too slow as Turtles. And Hustling Baguette winning over the Lost Memory of Closer Charles. So the second match of today will be Attack on Titan versus Hustling Baguette. What an exciting matchup that we have today. And then the winners, of course, will be fighting somewhat of a longer best of 5 matches tomorrow. That's TBD on the right side of your screen. That's going to be the grand finals for the last day. Yep. Very excited, as we will soon get to check out the teams. As you guys probably know, but if you missed it, make sure to go back and watch, because we have really cool system. We're not going to go over with the screen again. It's going to be the same drill, just like last week, starting with the draft, going back to the regular RTA round of 3 round modes, 2 of those, and then if we have set number 4, we will have another draft, and then if we go into set number 5, we will have an ace match between the tier 1 or tier 2 player. The team will get to decide who that player is going to be, either the leader or the tier 2 player. So we do have a really cool format. Divine, do you want to say anything about the new format? I'm pretty sure, and we had a lot of great comments about the format, how this new format is actually kicking in really hot.
Yeah, I really do love it, because first of all, when you're switching back between these matches, you get to really see the variety of skill displayed by our content creators. Some people a little bit less, bring a little bit less gear to the table, essentially, over their opponents. Those kinds of upsets we get afterwards, when we really see that at the end of the day, a lot of their skill, a little bit of their luck, and a lot of their performance, right? The keen technical abilities they bring to the table are still there.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe we do have the password ready, popping it right there. There we go. No more 1 gold. I hope not. CCV 2024 live will be the password for today. Make sure you have that down, everyone, and go into mailbox and then put that password in. It should be really easy and ready to go.
And do we know what's in the box? Is it going to be the golden leaves again?
I actually don't know, but make sure to check out every single time. Maybe you will find yourself surprised. Maybe not. But we did have so much more of us.
I wouldn't be surprised to get that 1 gold again.
That was
I'm
a
pretty
real
sure
surprise.
we'll upgrade to 3 gold this time. We'll upgrade to 3, okay? Inflation's getting crazy, as I said.
Can we at least get like 2024 gold? It doesn't. The 1 gold, 2024 gold. There's not much of a difference. But here we go. We do have the teams up here. Starting with the first team, it is going to be the Zoo here. The leader, Light, Kana, Chaos, and also Tristan Wolf. This is a pretty, I have to say, a very interesting and what a biting roster that we have for the Zoo.
I'd say this is the team with the most synergy, without a doubt. Look at how determinedly they're all face forward towards the camera. The Zoo is ready to be unleashed. The potential within their bones, I can feel it!
Whoa,
I just noticed they all have some kind of glasses or something over their face. That's the team synergy they have here.
Team synergy. Listen. Where the ability of sight has been taken from them, the ability to pursue and to see their targets has been enhanced.
And that's exactly the Zoo. They were ready to bite, and they did have lots of interesting facts. Pancakes, do you have any other interesting facts? From any of these players from the Zoo?
Well, basically, what I know about all of these guys is nothing new that everyone else already knows. We have Light, one of the top players in RTA. We have Kana following up right behind Light as a really great player as well, but you know, his strategy is sort of a concoction of many other people's strategies as well.
Certainly a team full of talent, and going against them, win fast. The leader, Elf Mage, T2 Genazad, and Samu Gamer Kisumi, who had a very interesting win with the draft mode last week. So this is going to be one team that a lot of you guys are also looking forward to. Win fast. Any interesting information about these folks?
Well, you know, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Elf Mage and Samu are both Portuguese speakers. And then we have, of course, Jenna and Kisumi being the English speakers, but you know, Elf Mage speaks English as well. So we kind of have like a little multilingual team over here.
Yeah, that's right. I believe Elf Mage was able to pick up Samu and Genazad in a row because it was a snake format. I believe that was how the drill went. And also Kisumi really delivering some, I believe, Kisumi's draft was insane in draft mode, just picking up all the damage source, whatever was available, just picking up like RV, picking up Violet, picking up any type of damage that was available. Nothing else, no debuff, no cleansers, 5 in a row, pure damage, and then you win.
That's
yeah, well, you gotta.
No,
I was gonna say you gotta lock into the Kasumi lore, my guys, right? So you gotta see she is the pity queen, right? Not a lot of luck when it comes to banners. Chat can relate, obviously, having to obviously go to 120 on a lot of the characters. Not great with the gear either, but in that draft mode experience, everything is equalized, and the luck, the ability finally comes to her. That makes somebody dangerous to fight against.
Let's see, because
that just goes to show the RNG in this game. RNG giveth and RNG taketh. Someone is blessed in one way or another.
Yes, those karma keeps on going around and around, and it does okay. We do have a prediction, half and half, right in the middle, no favors. Right, yeah, just half and half, 50-50. I wonder how this is going to go. Lots of fan predictions. Usually we did have one slight over the edge, but this is literally half and half. I do want to see the numbers behind that 50-50, but still it's going to be a packed action. That's the reason why. So, and by the way, today, starting from today until the grand finals, if we actually have a 3-0, I dearly hope not, but if we have a 3-0, we will jump straight into the next match. We will not have that set number 4. If that is the case, I hope not. but just letting you guys know. And that's going to be the drill. Yes, Divine?
No, I was going to say, it's 50-50 because I think at the end of the day, these are two of the most unpredictable teams we had in the entire bracket facing off against each other. Unreadable expectations, unreadable faces. It makes for a really exciting match for me personally because I don't know what's going to happen. I feel pretty good calling the winner ahead of time. I got no bets on this whatsoever.
Pancake, do you have any predictions? Are you also saying 50-50?
I'm an Elf Mage fan, so naturally I'm going to be cheering for Elf Mage's team, especially because this guy's kind of a maniac. He's the few people who just really smiles and loves playing RTA. I think he has that advantage over the other team because I don't know many people who just sit and smile through the entirety of grinding RTA every day.
I'm pretty sure a lot of our players have done lots of practices today. And okay, we're jumping right into our set number 1. We're starting with T3 players, which means draft mode. We have Chaos from the Zoo on the left. We have Samu Gamer from Windfast on the right. Divine, what do you have to say about these players?
Well, I've talked about it a little bit before, but Chaos, as we saw from his previous drafts and what he specifically picked, really leans in towards the Bruiser playstyle, keeping it a little bit safe, but always throwing in a little bit of a wrench into the plan, a little bit of something to consider on the 4th and 5th pick. That's ideally how you want to see those drafts go. And then, of course, on the other side with our gamer over there, an investment banker, as I found out from a little bit of my studies, pretty chill guy, but certainly somebody with that mindset to really set things up. This might be the setup for the rest of the team. Winning here puts you in a great position, not only in terms of morale, but as you said before, we're not going to see a 4th set at all today. So going 3-0 might really be setting the standard for what this team brings into the finals.
Exactly. Pancakes, you got any words about Chaos or Samu?
Not really. I just think that both players are equally as great, but when it comes to draft mode, it can turn the tables because of how RNG Fiesta it is.
Yes,
so
exactly.
We're just gonna have to see who has the better decision making and who can make the best of whatever picks are given to them.
And also that's exactly the reason why we are getting the Draft Arena real soon, which was just revealed last night. Very exciting times, as there will be a huge upgrade to the draft mode, but yet we will be playing the older style, the current draft style that is in game right now. So let's go with it. This is game number 1, set number 1 between Chaos from the Zoo and Samu Gamer from Windfast on the right. And the red for Samu Gamer, the blue for Chaos. Already picking up Lua, last red of crowd.
As I said before, really going into those Bruiser style characters, nothing else says that mentality. More like the LRK. The Lua, however, a great pick overall, but not exactly what you want to see here into that LRK, as I was just saying. Able to reset his cooldowns rather quickly, so it may not matter too much overall, at least for him.
It looks like for Samu's side, he's got a lot of the aggressive openers pick up on his side, and then we have like kind of the second turn playstyle draft on Chaos's side. So this will be interesting to see who can get the better team synergy going with the picks here.
It certainly does look like the 2-2 build-up is nice. They do have synergy and concept, but will it follow? Can you get the right characters when it randomly pops up next?
Yeah,
So...
well, we can already see Ambitious Tywin would be a great pickup for Chaos here, adding a little bit of damage and some troubling debuffs as well. He did pick up the Troublemaker Crozet last week, so that seems to be something that me and him are both a big fan of, personally bringing a lot of defense to whatever comes in.
Right.
And the Kayron, I'm always looking forward to another chance for Kayron, just like my children, to disappoint me. It's going to be fabulous if he manages to make it out.
That if is a big if. Oh, he is big. I remember last week he got no wins. 0.
He got 0 wins. And
I'm
we're
sorry,
also seeing,
but yes,
we're seeing the great synergy between Zio and Requiem Rowana here. You can talk a little bit more about it, Fart Pancakes, but I love seeing these two here together.
Yeah, definitely a whole cleave draft on Samu's side, but then will he change that up with these picks here? If he wants to keep up that tempo, he's got to pick up this Edda, because if he takes the other 2 picks with the G-Perg or the Pillis, it kind of falls off and has no bridge or synergy. And it looks like he picks it up there.
And Chaos really going for a longer, slower game, as we can see.
And nobody's
Now,
just... Go ahead.
with the last picks here, we have sort of the anchors on the right side, and then we have this Vildred out of place for Chaos, so it looks like he could be picking up the Destina or the Carrot here in response to Samu's draft.
I feel like we've already got one Soul Weaver on left side. Might be a little bit questionable to bring in two, but Destina's so strong, she justifies it anyway. And we start to anchor down our right side draft with the Apocalypse Ravi. One good note about her, actually, in all the picks that we had on right side for Samu there. A lot of injury also there accessible with the Mort. That's going to be great into the LRK. It's going to be great into flushing out with our Solitaria in the backline there. She's going to be stealthed up. We're going to need a way to penetrate through that, but we've got plenty of characters to make sure that happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're planning for, but Lulukaban, Ravi, the anchor gets panned out for Samu Gamer, so it's got to be speed or nothing. Will it break? Will it be enough to break through? That's the real question for Samu. And from what we all know from last week, the draft mode, the stats, the gear scores are insane. So I believe in the damage.
What about that F-Res, though? Is this Kayron gonna resist any of the strips or debuffs?
Oh, he didn't resist anything. He didn't resist anything last week. He was looking out there like
so
he's supposed to be the Kayron god. But here we go. Let's see game number 1. Chaos on left, Samu Gamer on the right as we start things with Zio, Lua.
Samu Gamer with the entire library, by the way. If he doesn't win, he certainly has plenty of time to read through and peruse through all these Tagahells his characters brought to the fight. Every mage they're lined up to Soulburn, Soulburn, and Soulburn.
Alright, now we got to see. What is this Zio gonna do? Is he gonna push back one of the DPS, one of the supports? Going for that play?
Going for the silence.
Alright, so we're disabling and pushing back that crowd.
Oh, that also did quite a lot of damage on top.
Yeah, what might hurt a little bit more here in a couple seconds, though, is the soul burn coming out here from the Lua, guaranteed to ignore the effect resistance even on our Destina. Her skill 2 and 3 being very powerful, not having access to either of them might set back left side team for longer than they can wait or afford to.
Oh, but still not using any of those souls. Now he does.
Sleep there, because the next 2 units moving have AoEs, so would it really matter to be sleeping that Solitaria there?
Well, I think what does matter beyond a shadow of a doubt is the reset on the Kayron. He gets a lot of his mitigation towards incoming attacks from having that cooldown available. Now he's pushed back by 2 entire turns before he has access to that form of mitigation.
That's right. Requiem Rowena providing a lot. When you have a starter, she's a really great pair-up. And here comes a damage source.
Are you sure?
And there's
Alright, that crowd is going to be disappearing pretty soon here. Then Destina with the resets won't be able to do very much.
Here we go.
Excited to see what kind of damage this brings to the table. Crow stunned out. No ability to remove any debuffs with the sword from the Destina as we were talking about. This is pretty much an idle turn for her. A little bit of healing on the LRK, but the Beguile makes sure that healing goes away in nearly a second.
Would that be just enough? Or will it not be enough because we...
Get a whole 4
Oh, he's gone.
Okay, that's a lot of debuffs.
No bike allowed.
Now, Lua, of course, bringing in the speed up for her team, but now actually right side, speed down. That's really important when you want to run your opponents over, especially considering that Destina has turned into a ticking clock, and when she brings back the rest of her team, it may spell trouble for Samu.
Yeah, there's not a lot of damage on Samu's side to kind of stop the Destina, so once she makes it to her turn here, she's gonna be probably bringing back that crowd.
Yes. When those cooldowns are available, which is now, well, but the scene is kind of slow. And Samu's here to win fast, but that wasn't totally allowed. There's a D-break.
Watch me now, darling.
And this Kayron, look at that. Look at the amount of stacks. That's almost full. I think 2 away from full.
Yeah,
if he gets to take a turn. Maybe he won't even do anything once again.
But there's a Cena, though, for the real anchor.
There's a lot of damage that will be revived onto the board, as we can clearly see. And every turn this Kayron gets to live, it increases the potential for him to make a daring comeback when he does get into the game. Resistance on that soul burn there.
Nice one for Chaos.
Yes, not much this Edda can do here. He can only finish off the Kayron or take a big risk trying to crit at Destina. But even if he does crit there, it's not going to do very much into her anyway. And he took the risk. Unfortunately, it was not rewarded. So now this Kayron lives.
And this Kayron is here. The twisted Kayron about to have a tornado.
Well, the battle's
real soon in a few
here.
turns. There's a big of a hiccup.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next round.
He's gonna be getting his revenge on Post-it. You know, it's gonna be 3 to 5 day delivery revenge.
So there's a bit of a distance between the two players. The connection is kind of unstable, but just bear with us. Thanks for understanding, everyone. But the match is going through. There's no problem on either side's internet. It's just about the distance and the ping issues right now at the moment. Thanks for understanding, everybody. But the match will still go on. But Chaos, he does have. Are you guys? So you guys were saying Chaos does have the edge when it comes down to a longer game?
Well,
It comes down
we'll
to a
have
longer game.
see. If this Destina can bring back the Crow and get that bike to run over Samu's team, there would be a huge win condition right there.
Okay. And the Soli Starlight Fall.
Ooh,
There's
we
a
got the
stun.
pushback and stun. Alright, so we're gonna see Chaos's team get brought back here. I'm not sure at what CR those units were when they died. But if that Crow has a pretty high CR, that Zio looks like he's gonna be gone.
The crowd's sitting at 28% on the CR bar. Zio stunned out, won't be able to take the turn, but it will be indeed that the Ida does get to have one last bite, and she does have her S2 up with the soul burn once again.
So maybe that will be another chance for Samu here. After Destina's Grace, both are brought back, but low HP.
Looks like that Lua is gonna be moving before the Crow, which could look bad for Chaos's side. However, it doesn't look like the Lua has her sleep back up yet. Oh, actually she does.
She does have...
So somebody's going to sleep here unless there's a 15%.
Big problem here for the crowd right now. He's not only taking his damage, but he's sharing it with the rest of the team. The soul burn follow-up is here. Is it enough to clinch him out and put the bike down for good?
No, looks like there were too many souls for days on Samu's side. Looks like this Crow came back just to die again.
Yeah, Samu had way too many books, guys. If you read too many books, you do get sleepy. So
He had a whole library.
yeah, just go get
waiting to win
coffee.
this
There's
match.
some time for you guys to go get coffee at the moment. And there's the damage. It's enough.
Looks like somebody forgot
That's
their
Twisted
plate.
Kayron.
That's Kayron. As I said,
Good job, Kayron. Good job.
I'm
He
always-
takes everything.
I'm always enthused
say
for every
more.
chance he gets to disappoint.
I just cannot say more.
Really great ML Kayron showcase for this whole tournament.
I mean, he could have done if those cooldowns were not pushed back. I think he could have done more, but that was just the case. And it seems
Cooldowns
like the damage, the bike, is going to sleep. Way too many books on the other side.
Eternity of pain.
Does the bike get pushed back another turn? The bike gets pushed back another turn with the
Oh
solitaire.
no,
And
even worse for
once
Chaos.
again, this crowd not doing a single thing for Chaos, unfortunately. That's what happens when you play a lot of control, which Samu got with the 2 openers that RNG gave him.
Man, that's a lot of turns when Twisted Kayron barely got a single turn, right? That's all I remember.
ML Crow also going down without taking a single turn. And I've really got to appreciate, by the way, the usage Samu got out of his units here. The Requiem Moana borrowing the speed of the first unit. Normally you'd think Zio's perfect for that, but actually opting into the Lua, because not only does she have this, not only is she guaranteed to go first, she has the stealth to protect her most of the way through the game. Zio's already at half health, and when he's down, it would have removed Requiem Moana's capability. this Lua is going to be sticking around for a lot more of an obnoxious time.
Well, if this could be saved, that Solly's gotta control the entirety of Samu's team, but seeing how RNG is for him right now, I'm not so sure about that. And we got that resist.
Oh, RNG can go back and forth.
2 stuns.
Couple of stuns.
And a blind.
Stun.
2 stuns.
That's a big help.
Blind. Attack down.
Can we
Alright,
wait for
so this is
Destina
looking
4
good.
turns?
Pretty much a guarantee that Edda is not going to be critting on that Destina with that debuff right there. But there's a possibility to do some
decrease.
damage on that Solly.
On top of that elemental disadvantage.
Oh, 2 misses. That debuff working overtime.
That's right. That was basically no damage. Couple hundreds.
And
is
that
why-
Zio's out of DFI, so there's a good opportunity for Solly to do some more damage here.
Watch me
Yep.
now,
DFI, I believe, takes 50% less damage. But as soon as we have one down, maybe Chaos can go slower and look for the longer game, as the game itself is actually going longer.
The real problem here, obviously, being that right side doesn't have sustain. We blew away the enemy team. We made sure to get as much damage, even took out 2 of them. But now we're in a more middling position. We've ran out of most of our souls. We've ran out of most of our cooldowns. We've even cycled through them multiple times. That just leaves us with one option. Get back to that S3 and hopefully push them back. Maybe get a couple more cool turn downs. But this S1 is still powerful out of her. I don't know if it's really doing all that much.
Well, the lucky thing for Solly is she doesn't care about her cooldown. She just needs to land all these debuffs with her S1.
And get the additional damage. The pop goes and Zio is gone in an instant.
Alright, so this Edda's not blind, but it doesn't look like she... Okay, she has an S2 actually, so there's a chance she can take that Solly out of her stealth. And then we'll see if the Lua can get a defense break once it's her turn.
Oh,
the
she
bird
actually
does
crit.
indeed come out. Yeah. Really would be nice to get the defense break here.
Oh, all these resists. Looks like that frenzy hasn't kicked in yet.
Still, it's only been not that many turns. Oh, there's the deep break from
We
Lua.
got the defense break though. She might be gone here if she gets hit by the Rowana. Depending on what her damage is looking like.
Ooh,
that
and
damage
she's
was
gone.
indeed enough.
That's Frenzy 4. That's some damage, and only with Destina and her skulls on cooldown.
So
I think
now
that's
we
about
have to
it,
see,
right?
does this Destina tank out against 2 ice units
Can
plus
you?
a Rowana?
Is there still a possibility here?
Well, it looks like the Lua's gonna have her sleep up. So
Miss?
if she gets a chance to land that, this Destina might be gone.
Yeah, when we have this, we are having pauses because we are having a moment. Samu gamer, Samu would like to say, would like to apologize everyone for his internet actually trolling him at his end. So Sam would like to apologize to everyone. So
I don't think there's any need to apologize. We all knew what we were signing up for here. Any tactic is a viable tactic, and if you've got to go to your internet router and give it a little jiggle, no, I'm joking, of course.
Yeah, as
but,
long as all the wires are connected, or the wireless works perfectly these days, but connection issues can happen. As long as they're in the game and they can continue, I think we're fine on the same page.
The only thing worse than being unlucky with units is being unlucky with debuffs that instantly claws you out of the game.
3%.
Wow, that just happened.
That was a fast cleanup from Samu's side. The unexpected RNG working in his favor.
Well, apology accepted, okay? That's 1-0, Samu Gamer.
The
could have
Wi-Fi
gone a
said,
little
"Don't
faster,
worry, we're
but
gonna
that was
end this
fast
match
enough."
quick."
That's one on the board for Samu Gamer, and the first game for win fast, but still have to win an extra game in order to win the set. Chaos, unfortunately, turned out to be a lot less damage, slower draft, because those were the cards given to him.
Well, that's just draft mode in a nutshell.
I think the
Just
big
wait
problem
till
is
we get the new draft mode.
Yeah, the
patch
reroll, the
coming out.
mulligan feature, Yeah, that's going to be real fun. And also, I believe they also mentioned that it's the new, if you reroll or use the mulligan, then it's going to be cards that has not came up from either
that have
players
never
yet,
shown
right?
up before.
Okay.
Yeah, from either player's draft, things that you've never seen, new options that help you take a turn in your draft. That's why I think it's going to be really valuable in the 3 to 5 positions.
That's great, and I can't wait for it. I really wanted that reroll system, and as soon as we can get it, I'll be running. Of course, I believe you can't be playing draft 24/7, the draft arena. I believe you can still play the mock battle 24/7, but not the draft arena. There were a couple of time zones that you can play. So you can go into
2-hour time zones.
Yeah, 3 2-hour time zones.
Do we know the reason why there's a restriction for that?
The reason there's a restriction for that is essentially, the expectation is that not as many players are going to want to play that game mode. And if it's up for 24 hours, then you're spreading out those players who want to play it throughout a wider spectrum. You close the spectrum, make it only available for certain hours, and that guarantees players are going to be able to find quicker matches, and that also increases player satisfaction.
And
lots of games do this.
Yeah, and I think it's also a really, really great synergy along with the new players, especially the new players who can't directly jump into RTA. And I've had this experience in the past when I started playing RTA after about a year and a half playing EpicSeven. Immediately got my butt kicked several times, never entered again. So I think you need to really find a good time zone.
I think we can all share that same sentiment as new players. As soon as you unlock that mode, you're like, I want to try this out. You have no clue what you're doing. You get your butt kicked, and then you quickly learn, I never want to touch this mode again.
And first time experience is very important. We all know from not just games, from your lifetime, yes. And you do want to have somewhat of a better lifetime. And also, I think it really creates a really good gear goal. Okay, this is a setup that RTA draft mode has. Maybe I should copy this type of sets that they have on each hero, or maybe the artifact. I think there are some really good highlights, guidelines for the new players to actually follow. So I think we had a small delay here because Samu wanted to refresh the internet, and we are good to go here. Going into game number 2, still Samu on the red, Chaos on the bottom and the left in blue.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate how quickly players can change up their draft. Samu actually taking a quick moment there to change up his internet provider, literally just getting on the phone and calling and just firing them immediately
and
to see if that provides any sort of buff. Yeah, and still getting Lua. That's what you know. That's when you know that you're favored a little bit. I'm not going to say too much, but there is a dastardly, there's a dastardly duo down there for Chaos itself. Maybe not his favorite, but I've seen a lot of people favor Ran. The amount that he's very fast. I think the second fastest, right behind that Para right there, and he'll put units down. He is strong in this game mode specifically.
Oh, Chaos!
Looks like they're playing it safe. Both really safe openers.
Yes, Pinky.
And it looks like we're not getting that whole cleave comp handed over to Samu again this time around.
But Fairy Tale Tenebra is still dangerous, still a faster option that's able to put things down, and if the Lua does get access to a book, a Soul Burn and Meteor Quirk is not going to be able to clean up as easily as he would be in most circumstances.
Oh, Chaos also having an option with Flan. I believe she wasn't crazy fast from last week's game, but she does also provide some defense breaks.
Oh,
A-Ross!
Flan pickup here.
Oh, what's this idea about? Do you guys have any clue?
Looks like he's gonna cleave with probably that Seaside Bologna if he's gonna make something work with that Flan. I don't think he would be cleaving with T. Crozet there.
I was about to say, there's one clear option, and it's when you get the Spez, you pull out the Spez. We've seen so much action out of him. And speaking of characters we've seen a lot of action of, love to see the Remnant Violet. Don't think I will. No, actually, we might see the Remnant Violet here.
Free win if we got that Remnant Violet and the Spez on Samu's side. We got 2 really strong evasion units.
Oh, and his picked. And Charlotte on the left.
Okay, looks like things are looking good for Samu's draft. And then he could be picking up either the Abigail or even the Lionheart Surmia.
The Lionheart Surmia comes on.
Plenty of damage for Samu. And Knockwall on the left.
Knockwall. Knockwall meet Lua, Lua meet Knockwall. Two units doing very similar things, but doing them at very different paces. Might also be able to help us.
Also different element, Chaos. It seemed like a wonky draft in my eyes, but what do you guys think? Pancake, do you think there's some answer from Chaos this time? Lua ban.
It could be a very creative cleave draft here, just because there may not be any immunity from Samu's side, so we could get that quick defense break from the Flan, followed up by a whole AoE from the Charlotte or the SSB there.
And we start
We'll see that demonstrated in just a couple seconds here. Flan starting the match off with that S3. Let's see how many debuffs we get landed on the enemy side.
Oh, 8
Is that all of them?
4 out of
That's
4.
all of them.
Full house.
Now we got that free attack buff for the whole team. This is gonna be the
Charlotte time.
strangest cleaves brought out in draft mode.
But that's why we have the defense up, at least, from Aros. Samu Gamer trying to defend himself.
Now there's no mitigation here, so Spez might have the ability to make it a free day for him, but any attack he does do will meet repercussions. Those repercussions, of course, sparking Lionheart Surmia to action.
Ooh.
The S1 there. The response with the defense breaks, plenty of damage, but there's a hero who's heard the call, and she's activated now with plenty of damage to follow up.
Here's Charlotte. AoE. Spez.
Oh, Spez is gone.
Delete it.
That's the first time I've seen Spez go down, but I don't think he's the only one who's going to be going down. A quick cleave from Lionheart Surmia. The damage is true. Golden Rose backing it up. Flawn's out, and the Queen, Charlotte, is on her last legs.
And if she goes down, very likely, next turn is Riolet. Oh, Chaos. Not really showing promises in game 2.
Well, there is a chance if this Riolet's legs are working, he could potentially do a lot of cleanup here.
SSB?
But
Oh, it's another miss and another activation on the Lionheart Surmia.
Fear is how others control.
all right, cleanup crew with the Riolet here. Looks like that Charlotte or the SSB could be disappearing.
You just point and click.
Pitiful resistance.
This is going to be the
That's
SSB.
looking like a lot of damage. They could be taking out the Kowarik in front as well. And 2 for 1 special right there. Then we can get the S2 from the Aras.
And the
And
pull
that
from
Charlotte's
Aras.
gone.
And that's a clean game. 2-0 win for Samu Gamer. And the refresh of connection did certainly work for Samu. That's win fast. They're winning fast so far. 2-0 win, set number 1.
His connection improved, but his prospects didn't change. It was another clean, easy win for Samu Gamer. As he takes the first victory for his team, the investment banker has certainly banked his first win. Will his team follow up on that? We'll see in a couple minutes.
Investor banker, that's why he's always wearing that white shirt, looking fresh all the time. Samu Gamer. And for Chaos, I think there was a bit of a wonky one for the draft. The cards, I think he was really looking for some other type of options, but sometimes that is just not allowed, not just available in draft mode, so didn't really quite work out for him. But still, that's a 0-2 loss. Now moving into set number 2. What a matchup here. We do have Kana versus Jenna Zad. What a matchup. These two going against each other.
Interesting. Because knowing Jenna, he is really great in tournaments. But for Kana as his opponent, it might be a little different just because if Jenna ends up letting Kana cleave, from what I've seen, Jenna's response to cleave isn't the greatest, so we'll see if Jenna
Really?
came prepared this time.
And that's exactly how Kana won last time. Yes, Divine?
I was going to say, as the cleave expert, Fart Pancakes, I'll leave that assessment up to you, but what I see undoubtedly on the screen before me is the unsurmountable danger of Kana's face. Look at that man right there. That is a man with innumerable energy flowing through his veins. This is somebody who, without a shadow of a doubt, is able to put someone down because he sees an opportunity. Genizad is his next perfect thumbnail, pointing down at his enemy and declaring it, "You will be my clickbait." That's the kind of player Kana is.
Exactly.
He's going to unleash that power.
Looking for that thumbnail, looking for that insane title with a lot of insanity coming up next from EpicSeven. And Jenna, I believe he has made a lot of pals within the last week. Let's see if we can get it down. What? Oh, his bed is
He
clean.
made his bed! He made his bed!
Wow.
Rylan
The
time.
only thing that countered the demon.
Oh, he is a clean man now.
He's a changed man. That's a new opportunity for Genocide. No
No
more are his
way.
ways going to be what they were. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
I'm
When
pretty sure.
I
I'm
close
pretty
my
sure
eyes,
he put everything under the blanket.
Listen. What he did was awaken his inner demon. When I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to see Genocide's face. I will be scared. I won't be able to sleep a wink, but I will be keeping my eyes pinned on the match right before us.
Oh man, these guys are ready. Let's go ahead, folks. Kana on the left, Genazad on the right. Looking forward, and we're back on the round mode, so we will have prevents, 2 each, can overlap. And looking for those prevents, of course, we had a lot of Lua, Angel of Light bans, and also, banning the 2 highlights of
target
Kana.
bands there.
That's right.
Jenna said, I'm not letting you cleave me for free today.
Making it very personal. The bed diff is already starting to show a lot of its differences with the Lua coming out first pick. I thought we were all out of draft mode.
Well, Lua is available, immediately picked, and well, I think this is a question Jenna's asking. Oh, if you wanna go cleave, I do have speed with the Lua pickup, and Kana immediately.
Like he's hesitating here. He's like, do I take the Zeo? Am I gonna get Zeo trapped?
Oh, Zeo.
Because there's a chance he can get Zeo trapped with that Lua hiding behind Guiding Light. You can always pick up the G perk or the Christie.
He goes for it anyway.
Zeo
He's
indeed.
taking that risk here.
And
He's
Pavel!
like, okay.
He's showing his confidence. Belly with a new
Oh,
skin.
I love this immediate response with the Beeline. Pavel relying a lot on the Soul Burn to get a lot of his cleave action through,
Wait,
and
this
immediately
is too
we
fast,
see.
guys.
It's interesting that Kana decided to still continue picking the Emma Ludwig, even though that Bellion's there, so it could be telling you that Jenna knows that maybe that Bellion's gonna get banned, so he could pick whatever he wants in these last 2 slots here.
I'd say more than could. I could almost assume assuredly we're going to see a ban on the Beeline here. A little bit of a free pick for Genazad there, as you were saying, of course, Fart Pancakes. But the response needs to be clear with his bed finished there, right behind him. What is on his mind? What dastardly concoction comes out? And it is the Moon Bunny.
Moon Bunny, Jenna's favorite, of course, as we had the Politis for a while. ML Politis coming soon. I'm very excited.
The
for that
Moon
in the
Bunny
future.
is a good pickup here, just to kind of stop that soul burn from the Emma Ludwig, should that Bellion get banned.
And thinking about some more defensive tactics from Jenna.
Another trial.
And
And it will be the Arrowell. You know, I don't think people talk about this a lot, but Arrowell, a free-to-play unit, very accessible, very easy to build, and even more so, very well geared because of how long she's been considerable standstill in the meta. We see the response here looking like a closer Charles and actually coming out as a Para instead, putting out those debuffs and hopefully putting a little bit of punishment and prevention towards the power that Genazad's draft brings.
The lost memory of closer Charles
That's
did not make it last
interesting
time.
pickup with the Para though, because Para wouldn't really do a whole lot for Kana's draft other than just give the team attack buff, because you don't really want to be debuffing with that Moon Bunny there, otherwise everything just gets reset.
Do you think that's already a hint that Kana is tripping with the pre-bans? Of course, we'll have that answer real soon as we get into our first games. Oh, Pavel! First turn.
We see another similarity from our draft mode games here, which is a whole library is still out.
There's nothing I can't
Alright, not very much damage there. Get that free skill note from the Moon Bunny.
Well, we can't forget the Soul Burn there was also important for setting up the damage that we're eventually going to be getting out on our Ludwig as well.
Looks like he's gonna go all in on this Karina here, which is gonna be dangerous for Jenna, because if that Karina disappears after this Ludwig going, he's gonna have no more damage.
You mediocrity. You couldn't possibly comprehend.
Considerably
And all those soul burns in.
Getting the damage
Using
in.
up that whole library. Let's see what this nuke is looking like.
With a 60% defense pen, I'm almost assured it's going to be saying good night to Karina, but no, she hangs on! 1 HP!
But it's Zeo now.
Unfortunately, this Zeo's moving before that Lua, so that's gonna be a cleanup on that Karina there.
Ouch!
She's gone in an instant. That is terrifying.
No
to
rocket
see the amount
damage.
of damage.
Can Jenna come back with no other big extra source of damage? Here is Lua. She finally got a turn.
How adorable.
Some
Now the
turn
most we
threes.
can do here for Genocide is give his team attack buff. It looks like it's just gonna be, oh, he doesn't go for it. Looks like he's just gonna sleep Kana's team to death and then maybe get a stun here somewhere.
Sleep
It's-
control. Stun.
Well, now we've got to
So-
clear off the buffs on the Ludwig. I think we're looking to control them out. We've got stuns, we've got
Ooh.
sleeps, we've got Ludwig almost half dead already.
How this story ends.
Yes, with that much speed and damage, should be able to get health and defense on
Okay,
top
we
of
got
those
the
gears.
defense break here.
Hold on, things might still be possible.
More than possible, especially if we're able to stall out the Zeo
Ooh,
until
okay.
his buff runs out, especially if we're able to
actually-
consistently get these sleeps.
Okay, Jenna having a grin on his face.
The Beguile did so much damage there, even with low HP targets. Nobody has a lot of HP to go around,
Oh,
and the
that
Paul
was
just
some
falls.
damage from SCROL.
One
My
more
goodness.
tap, that Ludwig's gone.
You do not want to be catching this ban as Ludwig finds out, going down second on the team. Now we have more on right side than left.
You're right. 2 versus 3. Can we handle this? Here's Moon Bunny. Sleep.
Got the soul
Another
burn, the
sleep on the
sleep.
Zeo.
That Zeo's not taking another turn.
That's right. That attack up is being wasted on left side.
Oh, another sleep?
Oh!
Sleep
Just don't
for
touch him.
days?
This
Looks
is
like
some
Kana's team needs
well-
some coffee.
well-handled control. Only Beguile.
Resisting there. Did you see that? Resisting
Yes.
on the Pavel there.
He didn't get the reset, but he still got the Beguile off.
How adorable.
One more turn till he gets to fire the cannon.
This
Did
Moon
we
Bunny.
get another sleep from the Moon Bunny?
Yeah,
oh, actually,
still had
in the
S3
S3
available.
here.
I forgot about that for a second.
A single thread.
And with that Doctor's bag, we got some sustain.
Pushing our team up as well. Getting the crit there, hit. Oh, this is not good for Zeo.
Oh, Jenna was thinking about a longer
We
game.
got an S3. It's going to be another stun. Kana's team is not moving anymore.
Exactly what I was saying. This air will bring a lot more damage to the table than you would have thought,
Oh,
as simply
and he's gone.
Pavel's gone.
And only
He's got that
Zeo
attack buff arrow while doing work over here.
resist at least.
Resist on the soul burst.
I don't think this Zeo's
How
going to
much
be
damage?
able to 1v3
Oh,
this
that's-
here.
Okay, that's some damage,
His-
but okay.
Yeah, the Deify is gone, so he's just gonna disappear. He's paper thin now.
That paper is being soaked and it is teared apart. Jenna with the
Ooh, nice
fresh
win
bed.
on Genocide.
does get the win. So that's 3 in a row for WinFast in terms of games. So Kana, after that much speed, still was not able to break through. Had all the damage source going into Karina and then the rest of the team that he didn't
I
really
would
take
have
through.
to say that Karina was the MVP there. She just took all that damage. All the focus from the whole cleave was going on to her.
The
But
bad
then
buff
there
is
was
real.
nothing to be able to clean up the rest of the 3 units there. So because of that, he just got controlled to death.
Yes, Divine?
I may not be a cleaver myself, but I gotta disagree on that one. It's a clear win to the bed buff on
The
Jenna's
bed.
side.
How could I
The bed
forget?
buff coming through, enabling him to reverse the thumbnail action coming out of Kana with the reverse YouTube clip saying, no, you thought you were cleaving me, I'm the winner of this one, and now he's going for even more content by first picking his Zeo, stealing it away from Kana.
Looks like we're gonna see a table. The table's turning here with Jenna trying to cleave Kana back.
S10,
If you're picking up this Zeo, you gotta be able to bridge it into a cleave or an aggro comp in some way. Otherwise, he doesn't really provide the team comp very much.
Okay. Some change up here from both players. And Lua stolen away now.
I do like to see Kana going for the facsimile play here, playing a little bit like Kukerbat with that first pick Stene that I hope we get to see later. An interesting pick for sure, hiding out from the Zeo and possibly from some other elements Genizad's drafting afterwards.
As you notice from Kana's side, we have 2 stealth units picked, so nobody is affected by the Zeo. So Jenna's response would have to be in some way trying to bridge this together. Otherwise, those first 2 picks on Kana's side may not even get hit.
And you've got to remember the additional value that the Stene does get now that we were able to ban, or I should say forced to ban the blind in the last match.
And
Alright, so looks like Kana's setting up kind of a Zeo trap comp over here. And it looks like there it is.
Is this draft
Those
mode?
the way this draft is right now, you're having 2 stealth units hide behind a G-Perk and a Christie, so that whoever Zeo hits is going to give a CR boost to the team. Just because Christie gives a 30% CR boost to the backline, and G-Perk is just going to give the whole team a CR boost if he's the one getting hit. So Jenna's got to figure out how he wants to bridge this together. Otherwise, that Lua is going to be taking a turn right after the Zeo moves.
Interesting. Then Jenna has to twist his things a little bit. He does have the bet buff, so Auden should be dodging everything. In theory.
Absolutely. In theory, but our theories always hold strong. It's the exact thing we were talking about. Ooh, following up with the Requiem Rowana to get some quick double play out of the Zeo's turn.
That's an interesting pick here, just because that is a way to bridge the Zeo. However, if we get the reset with the Rowana there, that's going to be free splash damage for the Stene.
Both players cooking different ingredients. And slightly less familiar ingredients coming out from Kana for sure. The green Landy to finish up.
We needed another unit that was going to be in stealth and could do massive damage and take out the opponent, given the opportunity to be pushed up. And I think Green Landy in this chance does fit it, and she's going to have to fit the bill because she'll be our major DPS going in. Stene banned out, of course, with Briarwitch Asaria not being able to see the conclusion of this match. We'll have to keep that in mind, especially if this does end up going to a final game 3.
This is really interesting with the Green Landy pickup here, just because she can safely S3 without blocking the counter from the Aiden. Plus, she's got the Guiding Light to not be affected by the Zeo either.
I see so much immunity right now.
Yeah, with all that immunity, that Requiem Rowana is not going to be having any resets.
And a lot of barrier on the left too. But here's Kana's Zeo now.
Alright, so
Not getting hit by the Zeo action.
Now there's not much this Rowana can do here, just because that S3 is not going to affect anybody, nor is the S1, because we've got so much barrier and immunities all around.
Are you listening?
That set finally kicking in here is Requiem Rowana. Full immunity still. And
a miss on the Auden, but as you said before, won't be provoking a counterattack response due to the nature of her S3.
You will be forgotten.
Now looks like we're gonna get these resets over here.
A reset,
and we land all of them except on the Rowana.
I'll try my best.
Yeah, that S3 is so cute. Exactly the reason why I wish you should always specialty change.
What, follow
some damage? Okay.
Not getting very much from this bunny over here. No sleeps. The beguile damage taking its course. Jenna's team is slowly disappearing over here.
Yes. Although we saw a similar case last time.
Yeah, looks like we could really get the S3 from the G-Perk here. This Aiden's passive has already been procced. She's not going to be doing any counters. And then that Landy S3 is ready to go once she takes her turn.
A provoke onto the Moon Bunny. That's not going to be very good either, especially considering she got a lot of value with those sleeps last time.
Oh, and GG tapped.
GG.
Got the push up, and now that's a GG.
Yep, no S3 from the Moon Bunny. Kana does deliver one for the team. The Zoo finally gets a game off of Winfast. That is 1-1 tied, looking for a finisher between the two players. Do like the drift that Kana took in the draft. Really bringing a special taste in the game here.
Well, looks like we're going for the tiebreaker match next. We're gonna have to see if Jenna is prepared to probably anti-cleave Kana, just because it seemed like Jenna tried to take the cleave this time around, but wasn't able to really bridge it together because of the Zeo trap draft that Kana was able to respond with.
As far as I could see, this match is going up. This entire set actually is going up to Kana's classic script, right?
Yes.
To get the most content, you've got to bring it to that exciting, heart-pounding final game 3 to settle it all. And who better than against the King of Kings, Genazad himself?
Exactly. I know exactly the thumbnail that Kana's going to have. Immunity set, protection set, OP.
Plus all the guiding lights.
Plus all the guiding lights. Greenland is still powerful. She's insane. Maybe. We'll see what happens as Jenna opens up here, as with Lua this time.
Safely first picks that Lua, can go into any kind of draft from there. Now Jenna's taking his time to think here. He's wondering if he should try cleaving this, if he's gonna play it safe, but knowing Jenna, he's probably got a cleave up his sleeve.
Are you going to provide?
And he takes the Zeo, which is gonna be a little dangerous here if Jenna decides to do a Zeo trap comp as well.
And Politis.
Is he ready to be trapped in return? Does Kana have an ampliable counter strategy if Genazad does go with that? The Politis may be one key into fitting into that puzzle if he does go for that option.
It would be a little hard to Zeo trap, just because that Politis there is going to stop some of that CR push if Jenna decides to make use of that, but he goes for the FCC instead, so maybe he has a whole team of barriers with immunity of his own over here.
Maybe that's Jenna's way of responding. Okay, I don't have that many immunity or protection sets, so how about I provide barrier on my own with skill nose. Okay, thinking, and Odin Gamer once again from Jenna.
How adorable!
Okay, so he's taking the Moon Bunny here. Still a really aggressive draft.
Worry not.
Oh, we're getting the DDR.
Death Dealer Ray.
Best response here could be the ML Sharoon, just because she was kind of made to be the counter for Death Dealer Ray. However, Jenna's side would be lacking a little bit of damage. And he goes for it anyway.
Whenever there's sleep or stun,
What's the deal
she
with
will
that?
activate.
Both of those characters, kind of considering the amount of debuffs that might be coming out into consideration. Dilibet always a favorite when you are getting assuaged and sieged with those many debuffs.
Yeah, she also provides some damage. You can't forget about that. Her S1 actually stings hard. So Kana trying to finish up the draft. Last piss Karin for the accuracy.
The accuracy and the speed. Not seeing either in this match, however.
Both fit picks can't span. We're starting with the 1 through 4 draft. How are we seeing the draft here? Pancakes, any win predictions on the last game?
I think it's looking better for Genocide, just because he doesn't really have... Kana's team doesn't have an answer to deal with that Aiden. He had the DDR, but there's not going to be any sleeps going off with that Sharoon on the table.
I'll be the one deciding how
We
this
can't get the silence, but we can get the pushback on the ML Sharoon.
Yes.
Aw,
Got some
you
resist
weak,
on top.
pitiful thing.
And here's Lua.
Suffer an eternity
This is
of
quite a
pain.
big risk Jenna's taking here, just because it's going to proc the poly.
It does proc the poly, but it also means that we get rid of DDR's cooldowns. Very valuable to make sure that we don't have to deal with that without too long. And the S1 still does have a chance to sleep and thus proc our Sharoon.
Oh, looks like he's getting rid of this Sharoon right away. If that Sharoon is gone, this DDR
Sober.
can wreak havoc for that Aiden.
Got that stun,
Oh.
but now Cascades up.
Unfortunately, that... Wait, actually...
Oh, not enough to kill her!
Sharoon's still alive!
After 3 hits.
She took a lot of damage and even more, but she's still standing. She's still here.
Will she be alive after this, though?
Oh,
Yeah,
she's still
standing.
alive! Somehow, some way, she is indeed the Dragon King for a reason.
What might help her get to another turn, by the way, is invincibility provided by the Auden here, but also the massive damage onto the DDR. Does he survive? Oh, not at all! The Cascade damage pop!
That's right. The Cascade just extra 2.5 enough to kill. And on top of that,
skill null
that's
for a little
right.
more protection here.
She's still here. 692.
How dare you take what's mine?
Invincibility and skill nullifiers. I mean, that's a shield and a half to rip through.
Now the class debuff, attack downs.
It looks like somebody.
Okay.
Only landed 2. However, that did a lot of damage there with the Cascade, so this Politis is disappearing. And
Win
that's a
fast.
GG for Jenna.
Win fast, 2 on the board and set score. Now looking to close with one more. Yes, Divine.
So be
Look at the satisfaction on Genazad's face, also there, knowing that he can clutch out the win and doing so in fashionable style. Love the outfit he's wearing, and I'd love to see a winner like him take it.
Kana
I bet
versus
he's glad he made his bed today. And this will probably inspire many others to make their bed every morning as well.
Do your best every day.
I actually didn't do it every single day, but after last weekend, I am a changed person, just like Jenna. And I believe in my green violet ever since then. And been having a pretty fun time with RTA. That's a good lesson for every one of you. Make sure you go back to your room and check out if your bed is made or not. Yeah, and Jenna, with that bed buff, will actually take the victory here as we're moving straight into our third game. Another round mode, the leader match here. Light from the Zoo, Elfmage from Winfast. Who do you think's gonna win?
My bets are always on Elfmage, just because Elfmage fan over here, and the guy who is a multiple-time Hall of Famer always smiles through every single RTA match that he ever plays. So I think it's looking good for Elfmage.
If you put in the time, you get the reward. Light, with those 3,300 matches, ranking first out of all the players here, I can't see his efforts going to waste. I give it to him, prepared, prepped, and ready to handle the threat, even if that threat is Elfmage.
That amount of matches first for Light. Tier legend over 4,000. It's first for Elfmage. Will that prove? Or Elfmage does have another one to prove. Win fast. If you want to match your team's name, you have to win 3-0. That's how you win fast. Here's Light. And Elfmage looking to get those games on real soon. Let's see what happens. Last week, I believe Light was able to take the revenge in the ace match, and that's how the Zoo was able to come back from what could have been a bigger trouble for the team.
Yeah.
Oh, who
as
made
I
their
remember,
bed?
since that was my team.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly how you remember. Personal experience.
That's exactly. I remember that very, very, very personally. I might add. No,
I have to say,
it's all good.
it's all good. That's also another reason why you're back here, right? Yeah.
I got a break
Also got
after
the
that. I
cast.
was like, oh well, yeah. Get the cast, get to sit there. Hey, it is what it is. But the match will be happening in a couple seconds here. As we've said before, these pre-bans, these favorite picks, really elucidating a little bit of their play style. In most cases, I don't think so here. When you are at the top of the top, as both of these players are, you've got to be ready for any and all circumstances. Their accounts and their mindsets are ready to put that on display as we get into the match here.
You should be ready totally here. Still the round mode, Belly and S10A banned. So that actually works out. On top of that, Zio Aden will be banned out. Light on the left, starting with Lua.
Like somebody forgot.
A lot of Lua first picks today, and an Abyssal Eufiend as the response. Haven't seen too much of her.
The
Or is
Rand
that I would have
pickup
expected?
immediately. It looks like Elfmage will be playing really aggressive this time around. And now we got the Landy pickup here. Very RNG unit. Plus the AOL getting those skill nulls up should that Rand decide to S3.
Captain Landy for the first time. Haven't seen her in a while. First appearance in set number 3. Oh, she'll be here.
One
Until
of
the
those
last
ML6 units that nobody really enjoys dealing with, but
Well, the ML4 unit that we have on screen. pretty strong.
That's one of my favorites. What do you mean? I love
four-star.
pre-banning her.
I still can't believe that she's a 4-star.
So the holy war.
She's not a
Elena?
4-star. She's a 6-star unit.
Listen,
Well, now she is.
she's not if you pre-ban her. She's not if you pre-ban her. She's nothing at that point.
Oh, Edward Elric. Whoa, we're cleaving through the draft. It's so fast.
With the
Are we getting this
Astromancer also
Abigail
coming out.
here.
Oh, trying to protect.
Covering that Abigail. Are we getting her?
How are
Lots
we?
of hesitation
Mhm.
here.
Do we
Bringing
need
a
an
lot
extra?
of red into Ren.
Mhm. Do we need an extra source of protection on the back?
Look
Oh, we
beyond
got the
storm.
Elena pickup here. Not a bad pick, especially because she just did recently get buffed.
The
So
slight
maybe
buff.
that could come in clutch here.
Elena versus Elena could be interesting.
Same with the green Leica pickup. She also got recently buffed as well. So, looks like we're showcasing some of these new patched units over here.
Some buffed units kicking in, and I think this balance patch one of
Oh,
the biggest.
we got to see Lilius pick up
Almost
instead.
forgot about her. Conqueror Lilius.
You can't forget about her.
She's the queen, but it's her first appearance. And I believe we'll see a lot more of her, just like Captain Landy.
Now,
Who do we ban?
something I wanted to highlight from what we saw earlier is that we see Light first picking the Lua. Pretty standard strategy, something we're used to, but what you've got to think about is the additional context. Elf Mage's win rate with Lua is one of the highest out of all the Legend players. So picking up that pick not only enables your draft, but disables one of Elf Mage's most familiar weapons, as he also loses the Ran going into the match right here.
I'm pretty sure they have met against each other many times in the RTA, starting with Conqueror Lilius, Elf Mage on right. Here's round 1, set number 3.
Something to actually note there, I don't know if you caught it, but the spatial temporal fan being spotted out on the Lua there.
Oh, that's interesting. No guiding light, huh? Now we got the AOL S3. Let's see if she lands all her debuffs. And
Okay.
she does, proccing the Politis here.
That's some extra
Rocking
damage.
the equivalent
Proc the
exchange
Ed.
with lots of damage and the cleanse.
Interaction gaming.
Get those free skill nulls up.
Can't forget the free souls from the Unseen Observer as well, enabling more soul burns,
Skill
which
null
we're getting
gone.
into with the action right here. Seen so many
Another
Politis
soul
soul burns
burn?
today. Yeah.
No crits though, unfortunately.
You're gonna have to S3 and wipe all those skill nullifiers away,
Can
replace
you
them with
do?
some debuffs hopefully.
Here is
Is the root of all sin.
still alive. This Captain
Unfortunately,
Landy.
no debuffs on that Ed.
Uh-huh.
However, this Landy looks like she's gonna disappear pretty soon here.
Should be dealt with.
She
And we get this sleep on the Politis.
I'll be the one
one
deciding
more
how
turn.
these
Don't have to
get
worry about
handled.
mischance here if we do go for the S3 because that's guaranteed.
The
Since there's
butterfly
no getting
sleep,
away from it,
followed up with the sweet talk S3.
peace and accept your fate.
Can we get? Okay. Didn't really see that many
Oh,
resistance.
okay. 4 out of 4.
Uh-huh. All
Now,
beguiles
let's see
in.
if this Ed gets a good hit here.
Wants to be getting out his first of hopefully many S3s. This is another one of those moves that gains him damage every time he gets to use it, but will it be able to put down the Elena? It does. Handedly.
Ooh. And the counterattacks start.
Not just that counterattack, another one from the
Ooh,
Edward.
we got
Equivalent
those
exchange.
attack down. Alright, now that Politis is gone, this is going to be a guaranteed duel with the C Lilius every time.
Oh, what that AoE!
We're into the Landy.
My goodness,
Oh, we
you
were
fiend!
Light hoping
Counter?
she survives.
Looking good.
Okay, she's full
even got
stacked.
full fighting spirit.
That's right.
Plus the counter.
I don't know if that barrier is enough to survive the
Oh,
oncoming
another?
storm. It's another dual attack.
And Abyssal you fiend for the cleanup. And that is Elmage with win number 1. Set number 3. Wow. What do you think about that game? Edward did some damage from the back, as you can see. Most of the damage done from Light.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there was a lot of damage from light side to deal with that MLU Fiend, just because that Landy was getting focused down early, so as soon as she's gone, there's not much to carry left on light side.
There's a lot of different bruisers in the game of EpicSeven. Some bringing offensive capabilities, some bringing defensive capabilities. I like the Edward because of how of the debuffs he can put on the opponent when he claps back. But unfortunately, at the same time, he doesn't do much to protect the other bruiser with him, and that did seem to me to be the fall of Navy Captain Landy there in part.
Yeah, that Captain Landy surprisingly didn't do much. In fact, not at all.
Well, it's like we saw with the Karina earlier today. Karina was able to survive on Genizad's team long enough for him to get the rest of his units into action. But unfortunately, Navy Captain Landy kind of needed to fulfill a similar role, in my opinion, and just wasn't able to hang on long enough to get it done.
Yes, Pinky?
I was gonna say, with Elf Mage's side taking the MLU Fiend and Light side taking the ML Landy, nobody picked up the Elvira here. So I'm wondering if someone's gonna pick up the Elvira sometime just to be able to deal with these Fighting Spirit units.
Yeah, the Fighting Spirit counter. If you want to delete it, just have to pick her up. Certainly, you do not want to go back and recall. She is indeed needed for a lot of the Fighting Spirits. Now there's Landy now from Elf Mage with Moon Bunny.
Some of our favorite light units with the Moon Bunny, with the Navy Captain, sorry, that you were talking about there. We see a response here to the Navy Captain with the Bologna, guaranteed to crit, so not too worried about the buff she's giving her team or her inherent passive on S2.
If he picks up the AOL here on Light side, that's a really good response to deal with the Moon Bunny on Elf Mage's side, just because that Moon Bunny is going to counter that Lua with the skill nulls, but they're going to probably get cleared off anyway should that AOL take a turn first.
Okay, and on top of that, Conqueror Lilius, Elf Mage, trying to go a lot more aggressive with the Vigor buff.
The Vigor buff, I think that's really what it is. Elf Mage's draft is stacking defensive protections in a lot of different ways without really going into a key mitigator. You have obviously Conqueror Lilius's buff. You have defense buff that Lionheart Sirmia can grant to herself. You've crit hit resistance thanks to the ML Landy. A lot of these solid options for bruisers without having to dedicate a slot to something like an Arrowell or a Last Rider Crow is what makes Elf Mage's drafts, I think, particularly strong.
On top of that, we have a Vigor attack buff for that ML Landy, so if both of those attack buffers go through, this Landy could be doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's right. That Vigor buff, one of the strongest buff in-game. Attack up, defense up. That goes both ways for ML Landy and ML Sirmia. And to respond, the ice cream truck might be incoming. There is Luluka. And who are we thinking for the last pick? Light does need a win, or else it's going to be 3-0 if Elf Mage gets this game in his match point.
We need a good DPS pickup here to respond to that Landy and that Sirmia, just because we only have Bologna as the DPS here, so if one of them gets banned, the other needs to be able to carry.
I wouldn't say the only DPS in Chris and Bologna. Yeah, we do have the Angel of Light, and although she doesn't do much damage, she does personally hurt me every time she's picked on the board, so there is that.
Probably hurt you mentally, but probably not enough damage to deal with the actual DPS you're trying to get rid of.
You're right about that. But speaking of mental health warnings, we do have to warn people. Knockwall is on the screen, and I know for a lot of people that is also another upsetting visage, especially with both Lua there once again. Might have to see a ban of both of them just to help calm the senses, in all honesty.
Do not want to have that cooldown increase. See the bans? Luluka and Knockwall bans coming out. It was an immediate ban from Elf Mage too.
Now it looks like we have both the Emelken and that Bologna going through. Both good responses to deal with Elf Mage's DPS. So we're gonna have to see who can tank the most and who can do the most damage is what it all comes down to.
And here's round 2. Pretty fast Conqueror Lilius, Elf Mage on a match point for Team Win Fast.
And the resist on that provoke once again. Looks like this Lua is always resisting these provokes.
Well, last time she was able to get the cleanse through our AoE coming out, and then the interaction, of course, with the AOL cleansing everything. But this time, a cleanse from AOL will only get rid of the attack down, not the sleep, so she'll be missing a turn regardless.
There's Angel of Light Angelica. Is there
And
any
he
other
rips
way?
the S3. Let's see if all these debuffs land.
Open your eyes wide.
Oh, that Moon Bunny's got lots of resistance.
First of many counters, but this does actually activate the Lionheart Sermia, sticking the provoke, but not really working overall.
And immediate S3 from the Lone Crescent Bellona.
Light getting some vigor of his own.
Ooh, getting that counter off, but no salvo.
I think it's interesting to note we're in a unique situation where almost both teams have access to vigor. 6 units on total on the board right now have it. But will we have survival? No. Denied the chance.
Gone.
Denied the chance to get those skill nullifiers up. Almost putting the Lua down for good before she gets to get into action.
And on top of that, the damage is stacking, but is it a little too slow compared to what's coming out from the right? El Mage already celebrating his win.
This is what I was afraid of, really, when it came to the end of the Light's draft. The Vigor buff is, of course, powerful. But what's even more powerful is, of course, the attack breaks put out by the Lionheart. I mean, the Conqueror.
Unfortunately, I don't think this Ken is living through this Landy over here.
I don't think anything's living in a couple seconds. The Soulburn comes out here. It does kill the Landy, but there's another danger incoming right now, and it's the Lionheart Sermia with the swap.
And she's the victor.
Actually, got rid of that Landy there.
Dead all the
Ken
same.
might be gone after this Sermia move.
And the sweep here, 3-0 win for
whole
Win
team
Fast.
gone.
What a display from Elf Mage. Light was not able to bring it back here. This ML Landy popping off against all the counters. And on top of that, actually not many crits happening from Light's side. So that was quite unusual, but Light was not able to bring it back. So because it is the semifinals, we will actually not jump into set 4. We're finished. We're done with our first match of semifinals. It is a 3-0.
Win fast, getting that clean sweep, actually winning fast.
Oh man. 3-0, but we do have to mention Tristan Wolf and Kisumi, they were ready to jump into action, but the battle's already over. So they just can't jump in. The battle's already over.
They're both incredibly busy businessmen, owning capital ventures in both of their countries of origin. So I'm sure they'll find profitable and very wise ways to invest their time that actually might have been a part of Samu's plan all along. You know, keep the team organized, not only in winning in that cash game, baby.
Winning the cash game to have some more delays so the other members can win faster. Oh, maybe that could have been. But here's the result: clean. Copy paste, lose on the left. Copy paste, win on the right. And no set 4, as you mentioned. It is a best of 3, first to 3 here in set 3. There's a 3-0. Tristan Wolf, Kisumi. Oh, Kisumi might have a match in the grand finals, but that's a bye for Tristan Wolf. And I know, Divine, maybe you wanted to say something about Tristan Wolf today?
Listen, we'll settle the rest of our match.
I'm listening.
Our grudge match off. We'll settle the rest of our grudge match off stream, okay? You know.
Okay.
Tristan Wolf's a good friend of mine. I was happy. I was going to be looking forward to seeing his matches again today, but I'll fight you off.
Oh yes. So, I just got a big news because we miss Tristan Wolf and Kisumi so much. We're actually going to have set number 4.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see it. Let's get that action right now.
Clap, 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 everyone. Let's get into set number 4. This just came in from the production, so it must have been a last second change. Love it. The match result has already been decided, but this is just for all of you guys to enjoy the plus action that's possible. Here's Tristan Wolf and Kisumi. We do have the data for both players.
Smilegate didn't want these guys winning too fast. They had to Slow it down a bit.
Look at that beautiful visage. That's a rock star. Yo, I'm surprised May Chloe didn't kidnap this guy right here for his band.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know. I thought Tristan Wolf is coming to Korea during Valentine's.
All the way to Korea, Tristan.
To join the
I would
band.
kill for that video.
Damn. That would be like one of the biggest surprise in EpicSeven history.
Tristan Wolf just grunge meddling it out in the middle of Korea.
And then all the Korean players would be like, who is he? Who is this guy? Let me go follow him on YouTube. I heard he's a PvE god.
Yeah, no, but Tristan Wolf also big in the lore. I know he's looking forward to the event coming up. And Kasumi here, another look at how tired she was. Smilegate bullying her, bring her out for another match. I see.
Yeah, she's a little.
Could have got some rest.
She's always tired, as you can see. Of course, we can't just go without looking at their camera. Plus, their matches, the draft mode, it has been one of the more interesting matches. Of course, on top of all the interesting matches that we had so far. So as soon as we have that game ready, we'll hop into that draft mode, guys. But any other words about Tristan Wolf or Kasumi here?
I think Divine had some commentary he wanted to make other than Tristan Wolf joining Maid Chloe's band for her little maid cafe.
Okay.
What? As always, I always do love to say he is the leader of our guild over here at EpicSeven. We call him Dad. That's not only because of the intelligence and just the feels he brings, but also because he's the kind of guy who can bring a team together. So even if his team has fallen, I'm sure he's doing more than 100% for his comrades, and that's the attitude he'll be going into this match with an easy pickup for the Navy captain Landy. You can't get a better first pick than that in most situations.
All right, the leader, slightly biased, I would say. But not at all, right? Of course, Tristan Wolf starting with Landy. Conqueror Lilius, red on top. It'll be Kasumi. And
These picks here are really interesting just because Lethe could be a good response to deal with that Navy Captain Landy. However, we could be following up with that C. Lilius first pick with a Flan follow-up just to get a cleave comp going, but that is a huge risk to be taking in draft mode.
Those risks aside, it's really the time to strategize as you get into 2-3. You're setting the foundations of your strategy. Seems like we are opting to get a little bit faster, a little bit more cleavy. And the Abigail hoping to... Oh, no, it's Kayron. Oh, no, it's Kayron.
Let's go, Kayron, for the first win.
This is the better
He's got to get one.
Though. This is the not disappointing Kayron.
Is it better?
This is the not disappointing Kayron?
Is it better? God, they're so bad, I don't know how to compare either.
Those do somewhat damage.
He's the one who got stunned by Troublemaker Crozet.
Hey, what
right?
about the champion, though? Guys, what about the champion on the bottom?
He did get a win. He did get his first win. He didn't do jack for that win, but he did get a win the other day. So
did he even land a single defense break? I'm not sure if he actually did, but the champion is available.
Defense breaks?
Oh, we'll see.
If he actually gets to take an S3, he should be, assuming that he's functioning.
Yeah, with the violin too. 4 seconds, time ticking, but this is really a show match. The result of this won't really change how things went in the first 3 sets. Kayron, as Pancake you called.
The better Kayron?
Made Chloe actually coming out to try to get on the Kasumi's team in an attempt to kidnap Tristan Wolf, just like we were talking about. Those skills she's already set down another one of her goons, Operator Secret. The robot's hunting him down in turn.
Looks like we should be picking up some more DPS here just because this cleave comp being picked up on Kisumi's side won't have a lot of momentum. But it looks like we're going for this Veronica, which is interesting just because Veronica doesn't really provide a lot of damage. However, she is good against that Abigail pick there if there is an immortality that shows up.
Oh, yes. So it looks like Abigail's going through and the furry Cartuza on the left.
Ooh. The spirit of Rengar still holding on after all this time coming on through. We saw Assassin Cartuja dodging so many attacks the other day. You would have thought it was tax season with how much he was. It was incredible.
The evasion buff was real for the team. Will that be a repeat for Wolf picking up Wolf? We'll see how that goes.
The synergy is real on that aspect. You are right about that, G-Clef.
And on top of that, do we go for the God Violet? Is that the way?
Violet would be a good pickup here,
Oh,
just because there is that fat cat. There's gonna be more evasion. This Rylet's legs should be working if that fat cat goes through.
The only real thing I'm worried about on Kisumi's side is that we picked up a lot of these speed imprints, which is nice most of the time, but we're not really racing anything on Tristan Wolf's side, and more importantly, Kayron doesn't actually want speed. He wants to be as slow as possible so he can take as many hits when he has that immortality to clap back.
You're right.
This doesn't seem great for him. Yeah.
Okay, Landy Lilia spanned. So first pick spanned out. Let's work with the imprints. Maybe we'll change the imprint later on.
This is a huge risk on Kisumi's side, just because there is a lot of evasion on top of mitigation from Tristan Wolf's side. So, is this monocle on that Watcher Shuri gonna work? Is he gonna miss, or is he gonna actually hit?
Oh, it does have a monocle for a reason. It should be a hit. Just thinking realistically here.
For the people that play with their sound on, he does say, "I never miss a shot," but does he actually pull through and make that happen this time?
Well, his turn is coming soon, so this is show match set number 4 between Tristan Wolf and Kisumi, starting with Flan.
You were talking about it earlier that we, Fire Pancakes, that we needed an activator for this Veronica.
Ooh.
And the proccing the immortality on the Remnant Violet in the back might just be the way to get that going.
Yeah, assuming she does land a hit, but it looks like she's playing it safe and going straight for the Abigail here, which I'm not sure if that was the play, but maybe she's got a trick up her sleeve we don't know about.
Samsara mitigating some small amount of that damage, but
detonation.
Watcher Shuri, the only thing that stands in his way, the only thing that can make sure he doesn't hit is a miss here through Assassin Cartuja.
Oh,
that's a
and
miss.
It actually got that miss. That was a huge risk trying to
I'm
hit
telling
that
you
Rylet
guys, he needs the glasses, not a monocle.
He's good.
He needs 2 monocles.
He needs to double
A
it up.
monocle for the other eye.
Or contacts or something, man.
From what I've heard, a blindfold really helps you hit the mark. As we can see right now with the Assassin Cartuja, he sees nothing, but his goal is clear all the same, putting the Flan in a very precarious situation.
And now here is the Remnant Violet. Who do we target? Veronica's.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Has no place for
Praise the Lord is good.
Happily ever after. 27k damage.
everything disappears.
A little bit overkill on that Veronica there. Now we'll see what comes out with this K-Run here. Does he get the hit on this Abigail?
Apocalypse
And he does.
S3. And that's an increase.
Sasha proccing and posting the team up.
That's more buff for K-Ron now. This Watcher of Shuri. Second time?
Okay,
Ooh,
actually
proccing our
lands
first
those
counter.
hits.
Green Armin, a stun.
Well, that Flan was already stunned, so not much we could do there, but that Shuri is still standing.
I'd say the bigger problem there is that we took advantage of that defense break, getting plenty of damage, just like with a follow-up there from Rylet.
Tristan Wolf. I think he's about to dance.
Gonna get the S3 here, yep, getting that defense buff. Getting that extra damage, more mitigation.
How long do you think you can
But there's still chance for Kitsumi. K-Ron's still there. With Shuri.
However, even if that K-Ron is the last one on the field, I'm not sure if he has enough damage to be able to deal with the Assassin Cartuja and the Green Armin there.
And we start with the immortality here.
Watcher Shuri just happy to be along here. Hang on for a little bit
Oh, we
longer than
got
we would have
that
thought.
duel, procking that Rylet, going into the Shuri.
Nice.
This is not looking so great for Kisumi here.
Not only that, we get the thumbs up from Tristan Wolf, clearly happy about winning the 50-50 there, earning himself back all of our Lord's HP. Praise be good, the Lord is good.
Tristan casting a spell onto the right target, 50%. But here is K-Ron.
This is all it. It comes down to this moment. It's a
And
miss.
it misses. and
An
no more
assassin
buff.
Goodbye, Kayron. You tried your best.
Assassin Cartusia getting the last hit. Kayron keeping his promise. I will lose to everyone. You know, it's very hard to make sure you lose every single match when you've been played this much, but Kayron gets it out nonetheless.
Oh,
with another 3%.
This Cartusa was that 2 in a row too? Well. That's a spirit from the Death God, as you can see from the screen. Oh, Heart Kitsumi.
Adorable.
Wait, does that mean that he knew that he was going to win at least one?
No, he was writing that on the side in the last minute. He was writing that on the side a couple seconds ago.
Okay, that's 1-0 for Tristan. But will that continue now? And another story that follows is that Kayron. Hey, Pancake. I know you have your opinion about Kayron, but...
Kayron's a good pick, but only in specific situations. Given the circumstances, I don't think this was a great place for Kayron to shine. Especially into a whole evasion comp.
That was rough. There was one chance if he didn't miss, it could have been a different story. We all know. And that's the greatest part about draft mode.
Are we gonna get another match with the Kisumi and Tristan Wolf, or is that it for Winfast versus the Zoo?
Or are we having a best of 3? I don't think so. I think that was just one game.
Okay.
It does seem like production running busy, so I think we are kind of ready to go into commercial break. But what a show matcher! That's the reason why Tristan had the whiteboard up. And here's the match result. Winfast did win 3-0, but we did have one show match game on top of that, thanks to Tristan Wolf and Kisumi. Good to see both of them. But Winfast does win at the end, so they will be moving up to the grand finals tomorrow. And whoever wins from Attack on Titan versus Hatsuning Baguette will we be going up against. So what did you guys think about? Let's wrap up quickly before we go into a break. What did you guys think about that first match of semifinals?
Well, I already had my bets on Elf Mage's team winning, so glad they won. I'm gonna get that free energy. Thank you, Elf Mage team.
The prediction. That's right. Double that energy if you guessed it correctly. What about you, Divine?
I said it before, but I'd really placed a lot of my bets on the power that comes through with somebody like Kana, and it's just a little bit disappointing for me to see it did not ring true. But of course, Genizat is a hard wall to punch through, and that's going to remain a constant all the way up to the finals, as we see clear here today.
All right. They went faster in the finals, but let's see which is the second team we'll be making into that grand finals. But before that, we will take a short break, about a 10+ minute break. So guys, take a breather. Make sure to go brush your teeth before you go to sleep. Of course, you don't want to go to sleep because there's one more match coming up, guys. We'll see you real soon.
Speak hero, Kenny, I said it.
What the?
It is over.
Show me one more. The 1-2. 초비상 끝내야 때 마무리가 안 되고 나니까 이제 올라가는 일만 있고.
Welcome back, everyone. E7 2024 Content Creator Battle. Starting from January, we are back. Ooh, a
We got
lot more
some
light on
sunlight
your
hitting
screen.
Divine
Oh
over
yes,
here.
is it already a morning time for you, Divine?
I physically moved this lamp closer. I figured it was time that I came out into the light.
It's about time you become a moonlight hero.
Just don't look into the light.
You're going to be a special hero where you can change element from dark to light whenever you need it. That will be your passive.
I'm just sitting there. I see Auden on the other team. I'm like, no, I'm a light unit. Totally, yeah. I'm a light unit. Don't worry about it.
All right, good to have you with more lights. I mean, but we're jumping right into the team introduction here. It's going to be the semifinals number 2. Attack on Titan versus Hustling Baguette. As you can see, leader Mochizo, Valky, CL, Krang leader or Dangju, as you know from T3, and Pizza Choo Choo T4. What do we know about this team so far, guys?
We all know that Mozizo kind of collected a whole team of VTubers. Surprised that he's not the VTuber himself.
I think he's about to take all the assistants or he's going to ask all the questions to all of his teammates, and he's about to change into a VTuber too. I think that's his strategy.
That's his transformation. That's his specialty change already in the works. Malge will have to tell us more about that later. But you know, I think what's interesting about Mozizo is what he's going to be going up against Kukerbat. I hear he does have a strategy to deal with that Stene, so we'll have to see that unfold. Speaking of which, Kukerbat right there in front of us, the Stene champ himself, believed and through all doubts was able to make a comeback simply by picking a unit he knew would lead him to victory.
That was a pretty big reverse sweep and brought Hustling Baguette up to the semifinals. On top of that, Mr. Pong, Reroll U, and Prof Boy, as known as Professor Hustling Baguette. Can they go up against Winfast in the finals? We'll have to see which team will go up after exactly the same drill, draft, round, draft. If we have a 3-0, then we will actually finish it with a 3-0, but maybe we will also have a special game of T4 players if we get a 3-0. I hope not, because we already had a 3-0 early on, and I believe we have the predictions ready. Boom! Slightly more towards Attack on Titan. I think that's not slightly. That's about
That's not slightly at all. Yeah, that's
3% off of
That's like 2/3 of the votes.
That's a lot.
That puts us in underdog territory as far as I'm concerned.
And I know you're a big fan of underdog story, Divine, as you have told us many times on camera.
I'll tell you that, and again, don't underestimate Prof Boy. We saw him there, but you don't see a lot of the stats sometimes behind a player. Just 21 years old, already working for the FBI, already owns his own home, already taken care of and dealt with multiple threats against our country. He's the kind of player that you need to be prepared for, praying right there, as we can see. That's what happens when you cross Prof Boy. And that's what happens when you're not prepared. You run into dangerous men like him and many other people on either team.
Prage, that was CL first on camera, and then Reroll U. We're starting with the draft. T3 player for both teams. And sometimes you need some extra 3%. Might actually be exactly the percentage that you need. Krang leader on the left, Reroll U on the right. Any opinions about these two players, Pancake?
Well, I didn't get to see what was in CL's background, so I'm wondering if he made his bed. If he did, it looks like he could have the advantage here. That's probably why he blurred out the background.
That's right. I believe so. I saw a lot of images, pixelated images on the back. Didn't look too tidy to me, to be honest. And what about Reroll U? Any info about this player from last week?
Not
too much about him, other than the statistics that are shown right in front of us. The highest win rate person, statistically, at 73.3%. But with only 15 matches played.
The first and the 32nd.
With 15
30.
matches played, you're really taking advantage of keeping your draft close to your heart and keeping those details, obscured, especially in something like draft mode. Your opponent might have a hard time figuring you out, especially if it is CL, who is an E7 World Cup player. He has reached those levels of tournament, and we're going to see his skills here in just a couple moments.
The skill gap. Would it
Well,
really,
as you
really kick in?
mentioned,
Yes, man.
if people really don't know what reroll is doing because we don't see a whole lot coming from this player, I think that's how you get your opponent. If you don't know what you're doing, does your opponent even know what you're doing?
Yeah, that's also true. And from CL, I could have a better look now. There's something on his bed. So, we're going for closer Charles for now. And on top of that,
we're going for a very aggressive draft on CL's side. In response, Reroll U's playing it safe, a little tanky, most definitely going for the turn 2 over here.
The response is key, but of course you have to survive to get into a position to respond at all. And there's a couple of key pickups here that might help him through that. But of course there is Champion Zerato, and we know the ferocity, we know the danger he brings into these kinds of drafts. Not picked up, but I'm sure we'll see him soon.
Ooh, Assassin Sid, Reroll U going aggressive in this game.
I think that Assassin Sid is like 302.
He was indeed very fast. I believe we have seen it at least a couple of times or once last week.
But at least with the Assassin Sid pick up there on Reroll U's side, it looks like he is trying to contest to some extent, so he's not completely gonna let himself get run over here. But now we have interesting pickups here. We're slowing down the pace for the picks on both sides. So we'll see if we're getting this Senya, this Armin, or this Death Dealer Ray from the Reroll U.
Yep, more Senyas coming real soon in the future.
The Senya does get picked up even into the Archdemon, which we saw in the matchup between Suzumiya and Prof Boy. She was disabled very quickly and never really got an opportunity to show her stuff in combination with somebody who resets cooldowns. We're hoping not to see a repeat of that, at least for Reroll U.
Now we have a lot of more faster pickups here for the Noctwell or the Fairy Tale Tenebria. We'll see if Reroll U will be contesting, because that's a lot of threat if he picks either one of those units in response to EL's draft.
Fairy Tale with Crown and Elena on the left.
Very good pickup there, just because that Fairy Tale does put down 2 debuffs, which is great into the Carrot, because she does cleanse 1 debuff.
Ace it out of the equation.
So far, this is looking good for Reroll U, just because he is going to get that guaranteed turn 1. We'll have to see if all the debuffs land and CL actually gets controlled.
We'll see if that Preyage will work for CL or not. Here's closer Charles.
Actually, that
4%
Charles is
off.
faster than the Fairy Tale.
That's some good
He has
info.
to be if he wants to get his job done, getting a lot of that opening damage out, but also pushing up and enabling the rest of his team, making sure they take a turn, but not before Senya activates her passive as well.
Here's Senya.
With that push-up there, we got a lot of push-up from that Charles S3, in addition to the passive for that Elena.
Your sins are
Soul
Then we
burn
get
here,
that Soul burn. Get that guaranteed restrict.
I'll show you some
Already seen Elbrus proc, but prevented from getting her shenanigans done due to the fact of Astromancer Elena's passive.
And here's Resourcer Carrot. Whole lot of burns.
A lot of burns. Another Elbrus proc going to the wayside. We saw this kind of control coming out earlier in the last match between Light and...
And that duel from the A-Meru, plus the proc on top of that. This is looking really good. It looks like that Prey buff from CL's side is actually working overtime here.
The Prey buff on top. Okay, that's
another follow-up!
What's happening?
Are we going to even survive with
Mercedes
the pop? Just barely!
Popping off. Way too many debuffs coming from CL's side, not enough from the A-Tywin over here. Looks like he's gonna disappear. And now we have this blind Senya. Does she even land any provokes here?
Seems like a situation of the blind leading the blind, ineffective as can be, landing only a couple debuffs, but saying goodbye to our farewell Landy. That's it for Reroll You. He doesn't see a way out, and we are dancing, jazzing up to that victory, baby.
Leader.
Sing me a song, CL.
He's not
crying
leader.
at all.
He's not crying.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Crying leader to singing leader.
Reroll You has no movement whatsoever.
Not appreciating CL busting a move out there on him like that. I don't think I would either. But the guy's got swag, I'll give him that.
Oh,
Looks like there was a gear gap there, seeing that this closer Charles is geared a lot better than that Fairy Tale Tenebria.
That's true. And on top of that, some dual action. And
especially
bringing...
that Mercedes.
Yes.
Those duels into the the S2 procs. So that's a lot coming from CL's side with a lot of RNG.
And that's also, on top of that, it's plus RNG for that S2 Twisted Power. And that was some amazing chances for CL to pull that off. Couple times in a row. But that cannot always continue, you know? That can maybe happen in one game. We'll see what happens in game 2. You're looking for that revenge.
Landy like we're running it back with that Landy pick. Let's see if this Landy can get her redemption arc here. Now we have some interesting picks here with that Celine really early. Instead, we're going for that Destina, very safe pick. And now we got that Kawazu, could possibly proc and deal with that Landy. Now we got that MLK run. Are we gonna run it back with a clean 100%?
Oh God, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why? When will Kayron be gone?
Let's see.
Wow.
He's got another chance.
What is the numbers at this point, G? Is this Kayron's 10th
I think
game?
It's 0-5 in action.
Is it 0-5? Oh, in the green violet as well, we are having a Champions discourse of characters that disappoint me. I feel like a father of 5 at this point.
As much as I want this MLK run to win, I'm not sure if that's a really good pickup into that Kawazu, just because they can hit the K-Ron, get him to counter and proc the Kawazu right away, and then that Kawazu can pop anybody he wants from there.
And Emoshu, Abyssal Yufine for the last 2 picks. Can we have the pop off from CL?
So the rat hits back on the attack. She does a lot. And that's part of the reasons I'm afraid we might not see here at all. Ban already selected out of Crying Leader. Ooh. He does opt to put out the Destina.
So no second chances.
Healing, no bring people back. Yeah.
No second
Very
chances for
good
real.
bans for both sides, just because that Kawazu, we don't want that free pop off.
That's
Plus
right.
that Destina, that's going to be a lot of sustain.
Starting with Holiday Yufine.
We see a similar story here coming out of CL. Same with the closer Charles, going to be pushing up the rest of our team.
First counter.
At this opponent, but not without a counter at a Landy.
Plus
doesn't have to worry about Astromancer.
Alright, this Landy is woke. She is ready to get her revenge. We got the counter coming in from both these units over here. That's a lot of damage.
Okay, does the crit hit resistance fly through?
Ooh.
She gets crit anyway! That's massive damage, even through the Proof of Valor.
Man.
But now we got that protection on those 3 units. Who does Shu decide to hit here?
We'll see. That wild charge is certainly charged up with that bzz buff on her. But can't do much with that invincible.
Attack immediately.
Oh, the counter looks okay.
That was quite a risky hit right there.
We actually have a lot of counter to her units.
Hitting the Auden and swiping her away on that, but also having to note that she is full stacked up on her Fighting Spirit while Kayron is lacking a bit.
Oh, some good amount of stuns.
Oh, that's a lot of
Reroll.
defense breaks there. The cleanse is already gone because that Yufine already used her S3, so these are going to be some pretty damaging hits coming from Reroll's side once he gets to it.
Not only that,
Now
we
we
do
got
have a
the
follow-up
counter.
from Landy.
This Landy
And finally, we have
is fully
Kayron
awake.
counter-attacking.
And Kayron, there's a lot of counters, and they both got hit. Fiend comes back, but can she really get a turn?
Well, she's got her full fighting spirit, so if she survives this, she could possibly make a comeback when she gets her trauma up.
Will she survive? Because Kayron,
Oh,
even at 50
the
stacks, can
tornado!
still S3 here, get the damage out with the
Here's the
guaranteed
rip.
push. Oh, nearly knocking her out.
Okay.
Not enough
That
damage.
animation was very cool indeed, guys. But enough to
Alright,
keep him down.
finally, our first win from MLK-Ron.
That's right, the first win of the tournament. Now we have
From either
mark it down.
Kayron.
Yeah. The Fire Kayron and ML Kayron combined.
Alright, CL's coming back with the prey buff again. Let's see if it comes in and clutches for him again.
Let's see if that is possible. But Xavier Aden and Violet, they did get hit early on. So
Because he didn't get that prey buff up for this match.
was that those dodges are related to the bed buff, right? The prey buff is about the duels, right? They're separate.
The prey buff is that you dodge. The bed buff is simply that you get the best RNG.
Oh, okay. So different types of buffs.
Different types of buffs. That's why you got to start stacking. That's what I really think this tournament comes down to. Speaking of stacking, you get to see double knights coming out. Some of the most fiercest fighters we have in the meta right now, with Abyssal Euphine, Pirate Captain Landy facing off in the first picks, as is become custom and classic.
Plus, we're getting the same ML Euphine again on the left side, and Landy again for the third time in a row on reroll U side.
Yeah, these counters. We're seeing way too many counter units. Land at Sermia. Zio as the starting ton for CL.
Interesting Zio pickup here.
Interesting indeed. However, he will be able to silence push back, although there's not really a great target for him yet. We'll hopefully have to see that later on into the draft. Kayron making another appearance, saying, just like my ML brother, maybe I could help you win one, Crying Leader, huh? You believe in me yet?
Well, if he was to play it a lot safer, that Rwana could be good just because there are counters coming in from the ML Landy. So if that Landy is way too woke and oh, he doesn't go for it. We're getting that shoe. Okay.
The traditional rat. I see.
Shoe into the Lionheart. Interesting. We got to follow up with our next picks here. Is always an interesting option.
Okay.
However, Tempest does have some potential. I believe we saw her earlier in the tournament almost annihilating it with ab follow-up.
And what is CL thinking? Trying to build a different team.
I think he's thinking about what dance moves he's got to bust out if he wins this one.
That's only if he wins, though. He needs to have a better draft first. Okay, there is the buffed Spirit Eye Celine. Sage Vivian on the other side.
Very interesting drafts from both sides just because there's a good amount of tankiness plus damage. So it's kind of like a 50-50 for both sides so far. It's not really a definitive factor on who has the better draft.
Also, lots of countermeasures against each other depending on the post ban. Looking for the closer. Oh, LQC and Yuha.
LQC is a very good pickup here just to deal against that Zio or that Euphine damage-wise.
Dark units. She can totally deliver the nuke. And also Yuha, towards the later game, she can also deliver a single target massive damage.
Massive damage is indeed going to be the name of the game. Banning out the sustain means that once you get that damage out, that unit's good for gone. Same thing with the revives and the immortality out of Spirit Eye Celine. Both of these players are making a death match. Whoever's gone is gone for good.
Now we have to see who this Zio decides to silence and push back here.
Let's see who he chooses to bounce down before me as 3.
Oh, the resists! That is not great. Now this LQC could possibly get a free nuke on that
counter.
Euphine.
We provoke you know, Crying Leader provoking out the Sylvan Sage Vivian, important because it also prevents the crit hit damage buff coming out for her team as well, and that would annihilate almost anything in sight, because these are some heavy hitters on reroll's side.
Yeah, unfortunately, this Surmi has taken a turn with no proc here, so she's just gonna go for the S1.
No proc, and almost amazed, I would say, that there hasn't been a counter yet. At least not on Crying Leader's side.
There it is.
Being
Getting that landy.
that Yufine's
This-
totally quiet. Yes, Panky?
Yeah, that LQC looks like she's almost gone here.
Was that a
And we
Hellcutter
have
reset?
Yeah, it is, unfortunately. But looks
Doesn't
like
matter,
she's gone.
My.
LQC
CL.
way too slow. Cannot take a turn here, unfortunately.
Was supposed to be the nuke.
Zio, great here for getting rid of those stacks, but Chatty does proc, giving us a little bit of protection and enabling us to get back into the game with this powerful S3 here. It's only going to make Surmia hit more when she does swipe here. And now here's the question. How many crits do we get? Zio's dead. I don't know what's about to happen, but I know Zio's dead. But the rest of the team, if the crit misses, they could survive.
Surmia
But I
with
see a
the
lot of
defense
orange
buff.
numbers!
They're all alive. How?
Oh, that
With less than
Yoha.
5%
Lord.
Get rid
HP,
of this
Yo's
Yoha.
alive. Yuha is about to explode.
Yolha is about to decimate
Oh.
one of Reroll's units. I don't think we'll even see them for the rest of the season
Here we
with how
go.
much damage they're about to take.
Pick one and bring the symphony.
I have no use for you.
Who is it going
It's
to
going
be?
up.
Oh,
It's gonna
Getting
be
that
Landy.
cleanup from
the
Landy.
captain.
Good pick.
See you later, and heals back.
Now we
Crying
have to see
leader?
this shoe popping off here. Does she proc into an S2? Getting that soul burn with that extra turn. No procs here.
Surmia's still there.
Gotta remember, this S2
And
is
we
gonna
get
do
the
a lot of
proc.
damage, but it's
Swoosh.
gonna proc Surmi as well.
That's right, defense buff.
But we have this Fiend taking her turn next. She can
Oh.
remove all those buffs.
That's right.
If
Shaman
she
coming.
laps, that Surmia could disappear if that Fiend laps fast enough.
Yeah, not just that, she's also gonna push back the enemy team. Getting that soul burn, that massive damage you were talking about, G-Clef, almost
Surmia's
deletes, no, not
gone.
almost, definitely deletes her in one turn.
That dragon
Reroll you
power.
done.
Oh ho! I don't know what
Oh
song
my
he has
God.
on.
Sing it, baby.
That prey
But-
buff working again.
It's Christmas time for Crying Leader, man.
Crying Leader dancing like he's on the Hollywood stage.
Oh,
Got
man.
his own star for all his efforts.
Someone make a meme out of his dance. I think we need to have some jam moves here. This is better than Cat Jam. That's Crying Leader with one on the board. Score one set for Attack on Titans, as they did have higher in prediction. Certainly looking like that is coming true for now. Reroll U was close, but seems like
No bed making buff, no prey buff.
that buff is real, guys. So on top of making bed every single morning, maybe
Make
we
sure
need
you
to do
pray.
more ritual before you go into RTA. We're having a lot more steps into RTA these days. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Maybe we'll see have more buffs. Not just for the round mode, maybe for the draft mode as well. As we kick in, here's Valky from Attack on Titan and Mr. Pong from Hustling Baguette. The tier 2, we're going back to round mode, guys.
Going back into that mode, but you've also got to look at this and remember that finger pointing up towards, on Valky's side, where is that pointing? Towards the heavens, for he stands alone in that area. He's kind of in a mysterious spot, though, I gotta say. Valky constantly going up against these specialty players. Last week he went against the ER King, and this year Mr. Pong, well known for his bruisers,
That's
really
right.
bringing the best out of those units in the game. He knows how to play them, and he plays them well, even getting the match advantage over Valky, slacking a little bit. I'll have a word with him about that later, but still placing a little bit lower in champion. Still, this could be anyone's fight between these two.
That's right. Let's see.
From what I can
Yeah, thank
see,
you.
both players like to play that C. Lilius. So it looks like we're going to have like a tug of war between who's going to get that C. Lilius, or if they just ban it so that neither players can pick her.
And Mr. Pong going with the classic, the Beatles. Let's see if he can pull it off. Valky was one of the first players last week introducing us that Specimen Says strat. As long as you have his reset on S3, it takes 4 Specimen Says turns to win.
Especially with the stacking buff that he had on that Wind Rider, eventually becoming a unit that not only decimated, but really dominated in a way that I'm sure plenty of people ended up re-ring their Specimen Says, taking him out of their boxes and taking another look at him.
Yeah, we definitely got a huge stock pickup from the Spez wins. So now every viewer is probably thinking, man, I should probably pick up Spez from the Headhunt event.
Yeah, no, Spez even has a special YouTube video on our E7 YouTube. Go check that out. It's about a minute. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, videos like that and others are plenty of reasons to subscribe, catch that content. And when I talk about content, I'm talking about our queen. Conqueror Lily is coming out with the walk and talk, that vigor buff, that attack break. I've talked about it numerous times. It is very valuable in setting the mood and really punishing key players that Valk likes to pick. But he also goes for the Moon Bunny, punishing that opening she might want to play a little bit, in addition to the Last Rider Crow.
Yeah, that's right. Moon Bunny, really good pick against the Conqueror Lilius or any other extra turns. And talking extra turns, Mr. Pong hands off his device, thinking real hard. Is Rand the right choice?
I think Rand here could be a good response because of that Moon Bunny. Just because if the bunny is procced with the skill nulls, they're just going to be cleared off by the Rand strips anyway.
You're right.
We still have hope.
Oh, on top of that, Light Savior Aden.
It's a solid draft so far, but this is really the moment where Valk is put into the position to set the standard for how this match is going to go. These next couple picks are not only going to be what Pong has to respond to, but they're going to be the anchors for his team. And I know he's going to pick well with the Bryceria coming out. Not too worried about missing or not being able to hit the odd in there, and protecting his team a little bit with the Navy Captain Landy, who also brings incredible aggressive action to the forefront.
So going...
Now Mr. Pong has to think long and hard here. What does he have to deal with both the Bryceria and the Landy, just because there's anti-crit, plus a lot of strips and defense breaks going on over there. So we don't really have any cleansers on Mr. Pong's side if he chooses to deal against that Bryceria.
Midnight Lilius, looking for one answer to break through. But will that be enough?
Midnight God Lilius coming out here a little bit later, but a clear answer not only to Valk's draft, but let me tell you something. When she gets her paws into Crow, you better hope it's Adamant and not Aureus, because otherwise you're saying goodbye to him and whatever bike he's bringing.
She rips, and Kyla also rips.
Rip and tear, yeah.
Rip and bite all the time. Shuna for extra sleep and some protection.
Sharing the HP, making sure together we will survive. Together we will persevere. And this completes Mr. Pong's draft in an interesting way.
Or together they will all fall together against the Salvo. There's Luluka
certainly could go that way too.
Luluka immediately banned. Let's see how it continues. So without Midnight Gala, certainly some amount of damage here is round 1. Vaki on the left. Mr. Pong on the right, starting with Rand first turn.
No souls that he has access to here, so if he wants to strip, he's going to have to do it his damn self. Sword of Winter Shadow there. The damage might be real coming out of this guy. Yeah.
We'll see.
However, no souls
Instant
to be
blade.
removed from Valk's side.
Not much
But
done.
he does get the defense break on the Bryceria and the Crow. So that Crow could be disappearing sometime soon if that Aiden gets to take a turn.
I'll take your life.
It's going to be interesting.
No strips or debuffs on that Moon Bunny, so she's got a good amount of ER going on over there. Looks like we're proccing the Bryceria, but we get responded with a counter from the Landy, but no salvo, unfortunately.
The perfect pull there. Bryceria is still alive, but her passive already procced.
Let
Taking a second there, this is something a lot of players do. Valk taught me this himself. Every time it's your turn, don't be afraid to take a second, click the hourglass, see where the CR bar is and what pushing a unit is going to cause to happen here. Of course, this leads to a big sleep for two of his major damage dealers. Landy spared because she doesn't sleep on the job. She's a damn captain, okay?
She didn't even get attack down either. She was attack down, got cleansed, got a attack buff given her, but then immediately taken away.
34k and that crowd's gone.
Yeah, boosted up by the Moonlight Dreamblade, the earlier dodge gave the Auden more than enough damage to say goodbye to that nuisance.
Oh, here's Salva, but immunity fully up. Doesn't really matter. Can Valky turn it around? Here's Ran, and that lady's stealth on top.
Unfortunately, not a lot that Moon Bunny can do here unless she actually lands asleep.
See Lilius?
Let's see who we get pulled in with the duels here.
You go for the crane pull. Shuna?
Alright, getting some sustain back for healing on the Aiden.
Always nice, and you know, we've got these souls here thanks in part to that Sword of Winter Shadow we brought up earlier with Rand, the non-attack skill, taking away souls and giving his team souls. Very economical of him, and the burn here will come out to give ourselves a little bit of extra healing. Speaking of extra healing,
I know.
We actually crit the Aiden there too.
Valky hiring his chances to come back.
My limit.
Alright, we're getting the AoE strips here. Let's see if all of the
Here's a
defense
thorn.
breaks land.
oh, none of the defense breaks land.
That's
Just one
unfortunate.
unbuffable on the Rand, but Rand's already done his job. There's not a lot he can do left here, and he's dead.
Do you hear that?
Now this Landy is ready to go.
Yep, that's it. That's the boat coming
Here it
ashore.
is.
Landy driving it home. I don't know if anyone's going to survive, but if
The
they
warship
do, they might be stunned or worse.
And just see Lilius.
Even through a miss, that Aiden is gone.
And just like the Captain Landy, Valky is smiling on top. Very similar, I would say, in terms of what they're wearing. And that's a win.
Clear win for Valky. I was a little bit worried there, seeing how long the Bryce mission, then eventually how little she had done in terms of debuffs, but it didn't really seem to matter. It was clear at the end of the day that was Navy Captain Landy's game.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
totally alive. Yes, ma'am.
unfortunately, for Mr. Pong's side, he didn't really pick a lot of units in response to dealing with that Landy. And the one unit that could deal with her was immediately banned, so that just gave Landy the opportunity to wreak havoc for free.
And with that, I think we're going straight into game number 2. Can Valky finish this off with a 2-0 and keep the lead on Attack on Titan in set? Or Mr. Pong? Can he really come back thinking about Rant again? See Lilius?
Flashes it, but opts for the Sea Lilius. Something I also wanted to bring up here. The Crow was a solid choice before, but even better now that the Midnight Gala Lilius is banned out from the game. Of course, it does lead another impressive Soul Weaver out in the Ocean Breeze Lulica, which makes the value of this Moon Bunny even more so when less and less of these valuable Soul Weavers are available to draft.
Yeah, and then now we have to think about, is there other units to deal with this Sea Lilius? Because Mr. Pong really loves picking up that early Sea Lilius, but it leaves a lot of room to be countered there.
With the Vigor and attack buff, where did Hua Young go? After last weekend, we don't really get to see her, or Specimen says.
Yeah, looks like really interesting safe picks here. Not a lot of risks being taken.
Here I come.
I wouldn't say necessarily a risk with Specimen says, but you do have to keep in mind, we saw this similarly at the E7 World Cup, right? That was just around the time Landy had been put out. We saw a lot of her the first time she was available to be picked up. And then the next day, less and less of her as more players were more comfortable, had more counters. They were predicting her appearance, and thus more people were ready. And it's not you don't exactly feel comfortable going at your opponent with something that you know through strategy, through information, through knowledge that they're more than prepped for.
Yes, this lady, Landy, I believe she was about 97% appearance during E7WC. I don't really know what happened to those 3%.
Somebody fell asleep. There was like, oh no, I picked Carmen instead. Oh, no.
I don't really know what happened to those last 3%, but she's here again and again. And also picking up Ken. Is that really common? Pair.
Ken's a really good pickup here just because he is guaranteed to get hit and counter from the ML Yufine. However, it looked like Mr. Pong was about to pick up that Aiden, which is a good counter into the Ken. But with the anti-crits there with Landy, it might be a little bit of a risk. So now he's kind of reconsidering this fourth pick here. Does he pick up the Bologna? She'll be great into that Landy, but maybe not so much into the Crow and ML Ken.
I'd say take a second. I'd say take a second to consider the secret buff ML Ken got recently. Not directly to himself, but with the artifact buff, a lot of people were running Circus Fantasia on Celilius. That increased crit is only going to piss off Ken more and more, so some people did talk about that interaction.
Oh, we almost got to see
Mr. Pong was
Biblis.
hovering the Biblis. I feel like that Biblis would have been really great. Just because there are 2 counter units on Valky's side, and there's not a whole lot of cleanse. So if that Biblis stacks a lot of debuffs, Mr. Pong could have been in a better position.
Yes, certainly a great unit against all those counterattacks, but Mr. Pong has a different idea with Ran, has full trust. Peira goes through. It's Moon Bunny getting banned, and also ML Bologna from Mr. Pong's side.
Now you're in a speed race with Valky. No, in my opinion, Valk tends to be the faster player, but maybe Mr. Pong was ready and anticipating this. As we get to turn 1, it does go up over to the Ran.
2% off Peira. And was Valky expecting this or not? We'll get to see.
How should we do this?
It all matters.
See if this Peira survives this, but now that this Peira has been outsped, there's not going to be a whole lot of value with her S2 if he decides to use it.
Ooh, some good D-breaks.
We go for the S2 anyway, clawing back. Ooh, but not landing too much of a strip at all.
The attack downs.
Yeah, unfortunately with the Peira S2, it's just going to be a lower turn on the buffs, so it's not quite a strip, which is why her taking turn 1 there was more imperative to land all the unbuffables. But since that Ran took that turn 1 instead, huge value with all the immunities on his team.
And there is
now the
Escort.
turn turns over. See Lilius doing a little bit of that walk and talk and doing something similar to what you just talked about, Fire Pancakes, reducing the cooldown, reducing the turns on the enemy's buffs and putting that very detrimental attack break on.
Which is huge. And which target are you going for, the target or the provoke? And it does work on
Very safe
Crow.
play there, controlling that Crow so he doesn't get that AoE damage or the immunity for his team.
This is going to hurt.
Here is the Thorn from Briarwitch and some counters.
Lots of counters, in fact. Not the
He got
only one she'll
all
be
the
sustaining.
hits. She's already kind of dead. But that Immortal keeping her alive.
We got defense breaks on all the
Soulburn?
units on Valk's side. Huge damage coming through
Second
here.
counter.
Unfortunately, with that attack down on Ken, he doesn't get a lot of lifesteal back.
And we've already got full stacks onto the HU Fiend. I mean, not the HU Fiend, the 8.
You wish to live.
So many confused with so many versions of her.
Yeah, so another pull. And that's
And
all
that
they
one
need.
wipes out the whole team, yeah.
Mr. Pong! Abyssal Yufine doing some massive action here as Valky had the counters, but the attack downs made it so much weaker.
You can see how much Mr. Pong's draft invested in getting those defense breaks out through the Ran, through the Bryce area, and then following it up with units that are either going to pull or dominate once the entire team was defense braked. You know, it's great to get those AoE defense breaks, but sometimes you don't bring enough damage to take advantage of it. And there's only 2 turns you have. AU Fiend is a great chance. Conquer Lilius is a great chance to make sure that whatever you stick hurts.
And I think having whoever took turn 1 there was really imperative for either side, just because if that Para did take a turn 1, then Mr. Pong's side wouldn't have been able to get the immunity or the vigor buff on his side.
All right.
So that was just extra damage from Mr. Pong's side there with that turn 1.
Now round 3, adding Emma Bologna and Moon Bunny on that pre-ban list. Valky starting it. The draft for the win. So finally securing C. Lilius.
Taking the Conqueror Lilius for himself.
Especially with a lot of the C. Lilius counters in the pre-band, there's not a whole lot to stop the
Valky
aggression
changed.
coming from this.
All of a sudden.
He transformed.
Oh, this is a Valky classic, ladies and gentlemen. When the RNG doesn't go his way, the Stickman Val comes out as a sign that even though luck has taken its toll on him, he's still going to persevere nonetheless,
All
even
right.
if it takes a Stickman.
Valky phase 2. We're ready for it.
Do not falter.
Even against
Now
Captain
Mr.
Landy.
Pong's taking that Landy away from Valk. Now he has to think long and hard here. What is he going to respond with to deal against the Shuna and the Landy?
We did see his ML which didn't really do too much in the previous game.
Yeah, unfortunately that Ken got debuffed, so if that Ken's getting debuffed from a Ran, there's not a whole lot he can do into a Shuna.
That's right. Ran still available. Mr. Pong always thinking about that Ran. Pretty fast, too. So Valky's got a lot to think. Knock wall. That's a bit of a twist.
Knockwall's certainly a good pickup here just because she is going to stop that Landy. And with the Moon Bunny off the table, there's not a lot to stop that Knockwall either.
There he is again.
Unless this Ran takes another turn 1.
Looking at the list.
Certainly poised to do so. Go ahead.
Look at the list. Azio can be allowed, but Valky needs some more damage, I believe. So Mr. Pong scrolling through. I've got Landy, so maybe some extra barriers or heals. Soul Weavers seem to be the answer. Already has one Shuna all the way on top.
It's going to be a lot of sustain coming from Mr. Pong's side if he does pick up the DN here.
DN or a mid or... Okay, switching it to Savior Auden. Free to play. Strong hero. Always popping. That's right.
This is what I was interested in seeing. The Savior Auden coming out.
Oh, yes.
The Savior Auden coming out, but really reaching for her value due to the round 1 pre-bans. Death Dealer Ray is out. Spectre Tenebra is out. Some of these units that really tend to punish dodge units in a lot of different ways already wiped off the board. And we get a pickup for Senya from Valky. That's an interesting twist.
Green Senya. Or
Senya could be good into that Landy, but if that Ran does go through, there may not be a lot of value from that Senya if the Ran actually gets the immunity off for his whole team. No one's gonna get the blind or the provokes.
That's going to be an interesting point as we go into, and then if you can't overspeed that Ran, Zio is going to be a perfect hero. With that speed boost passive. And Mr. Pong thinking about a second captain. No, we'll switch back into Abyssal Yufine, the winning key card of the day so far.
This really leaves me in an expectant place because we talked about earlier on how much Mr. Pong's draft relies on these defense breaks. And as you were just saying there, Far Pancakes, we see a lot of value for him potentially getting rid of the Ran as a stepping stone to the rest of his victory. Might cause some upsets in the ban section here, but it is coming down to the last second, and it is a ban on the Ran and saying goodbye to the Senya. So it's going to come down to these 4 characters on either side, although a dangerous combo, I must say, out of the Navy Captain Landy and the Abyssal Yufine. It's either going to have to supercharge the LRK, or it's going to put him out of commission very quickly. But we'll see in a couple seconds here.
We'll see what happens here. The winner will take the set. Finally getting first turn with Zio.
Even though we don't really have mitigation on Mr. Pong's side, he does have a good amount of sustain with that Shuna there. including a stop to the aggression. Unfortunately, she does not resist, so her first turn is gone. So this is gonna be a free first turn for all of Valk's units here, because that Shuna is not gonna be doing anything for a while.
Don't even have to worry about the sole consideration procking, pushing her up, but as you said, not enabling her to do much unless she wants to piddle around with her S1. Getting the redirected provoke out of the Auden as well. Valky knows that this can't be cleansed at this current moment, so it's going to put one of her most powerful skills out of commission, but we do get a dual attack and a follow-up as well.
But with that attack down on that Landy, doesn't do a whole lot here. Got those free barriers, kind of buffing up Valk's team.
There's Nagwal with the soul.
Valk making sure to use those souls as quickly as he can.
Still continuing.
Now the Savior Auden, her counter's not doing a whole lot here, just because of the attack down with the barriers on Valk's side.
I talked earlier about the danger of all these AoE counters. Well, they're now sealed and bound, so not too much to worry about that. What we do have to worry about, at least for Mr. Pong, is this bite coming out, doing massive damage, splashing out, and getting another turn on the cooldown due to the re-perfected provoke.
Now Shuna's almost gone too. It's unfortunate that she didn't provide a whole lot here, just because she did get silenced first, and now she's got the cooldown.
That's right.
From the Noctwolf.
And that is going to be
the match is over.
Just game like that. Valky taking the game easy, pretty speedy on that last game. And Mr. Pong could not really deliver that Shuna, even with a distribution. All 4 members, they were pretty low HP, so I don't think it would have mattered. So that's why I believe Mr. Pong kind of tapped out here. Valky, Attack on Titan, now leading with a 2-0 set score. That's actually pretty big. Hustling Baguette, all they're relying on, again, is going to be their leader. Cougar Bat, can Estene, just like last week, deliver once again? That took a longer time to actually hop in, but that reverse sweep was totally possible. Will this be, again, the same story in the semifinals, or is that strategy already exposed and he can't use that again? It's going to be Mochizo as the opponent, the leader for Attack on Titan.
From what my intel has gathered, Mozizo has a plan to deal with the Kukurbat Stene, but really any player should, especially when they're punching up in their weight at a legend of legends themselves. Kukurbat ranking in second in terms of rank positions for our players, but he's ranking in first for my heart. This is a man who's stolen everything from me because I believe fundamentally in his determination as a chef to cook up an amazing draft and to make an entertaining fight to see.
Well, from what we saw in last week's matches, no matter how many losses or wins Kukurbat went through, he's always sticking to the tried and true Stene. She's always going to be there as the first pick as long as she's available. And he's never changed anything about his draft. No matter how bad things were looking, he's still stuck to the Stene. So it could be something he continues doing this week, and it's up to Mozizo to decide if he wants to respond, knowing that he's gonna always be picking that Stene.
Yeah, that's right. With that intel, can you use it for yourself, or will you still lose against it? That's going to be the issue that Mozizo, or the question that Mozizo really has to solve. Is there a really good solution? He had a week, slightly less than a week to prepare for this matchup. And Kukurbat, will he ever not use that Spectre Tenebria? I would be amazed if he doesn't.
I'm about to say it'll be a dark and cloudy day if that storm ever blows on.
Yeah, you're allowed to take the light off if he actually if he doesn't pick that Estene.
We go back to divine darkness.
It's totally allowed. Here we go. Could be a match point here for Attack on Titan. Mochizo, if he wins the set, that'll be 3-0 for the grand final.
We get to see 2 handsome gentlemen almost in the same exact pose, hands, poised around the face in that thinker pose, really weighing their options as the pre-bans come through. No Stene, so he's giving it up to his opponent unless he wants to first pick it here and really make a statement here. Ooh, Faithless Litica.
Leaving? Is that the answer against Estene?
Well, Cleave tends to be a really good draft to deal with Stenes, just because there is a lot of damage coming out, as long as a lot of it is AoE damage. So if he decides to bring out this kind of comp, it looks like Kukurbat has to be prepared to deal with the amount of AoEs that could be coming out if he decides to have a Stene pick here.
Going for safety
Troublemaker
options.
And he goes for the Stene.
I'm pretty sure like Kukurbat can walk into his bank and they're just like, ID sir? He's like, I first pick standing. All right, thank you. Going through. That's at the level that he has become familiar with this. However, the Troublemaker Crozet is something I don't think we've seen from him before. I'm a big fan of this unit just because of his ability to mitigate, protect a specific target, and also clap back, as we saw earlier with the K-Ron, providing those stuns that stops things like this cleave that seems to be clearly set up by Mozizo.
Very cleavy and fast. About to have some really
Mozizo's-
quick action. Yes.
Yeah, Mozizo's definitely trying to take turn 1 here, but does he have a bridge to put everything together?
Ooh, this must be familiar to you, Fart Pancakes. Seems we're getting another setup here with a Zeo trap of sorts.
Well, not quite, just because there are kind of hit targets, so that Zeo could just hit the T Crozet and put him out of commission and not be able to cleanse anybody and buff anybody. That G-Perk pickup is good there in response to the Flitica, the Ran, and the C-Pavel though, in addition to that AoL. So it's going to be up to these solo carry DPS, either the Stene or the Aiden, to win it for Kukurbat here.
Aola. And has been.
Looks
I
like the
think
AoLs
those are good bans for both sides, just because Kukurbat doesn't want his team getting those defense breaks and the AoL getting those skill nulls up.
It seems to me like it's really going to come down to A, what are we hitting? And more importantly, B, how hard is Kukurbat's team going to be able to rush to response to possibly see our cut, push up, and put down the enemy with Bastion of Perlucia coming out.
Ooh.
Big barrier for the Auden in case anything troublesome were to happen to her.
Some good D for Kukurbat.
Be afraid.
Always good D.
Starting with Zeo. Who do we hit on? Full immunity.
Oh, lands no debuffs. Unfortunate. So this is
That's
interesting
clear.
here that Mozizo decided to go for the S2, trying to disable that Aiden's passive, because what exactly is going to proc this Sermia here?
I will fight until the bitter end.
So here is Troublemaker Crozet.
You want to try me?
Pushing up his
Extra defense.
favorite unit in the world.
Looks like either that Sermia or that C Pavel is gonna be gone from the Stene S3 here.
At least try to make it.
And that C Pavel's gone.
Pushing back the rest of the team with it as well.
Never lose.
That wombo combo is not available anymore. Mozizo, his game plan wasn't really the right move.
That's a lot of damage. No attack buff on that Aiden, but Mozizo's got no mitigation on his side. And with that strip from that Flitica already being used, Mozizo's out of options, and it's game over.
Kukurbat. Oh,
Look at
both players same
both-
pose.
Same pose I was talking about before. A little bit of a nod head. Seems to be dissatisfied with how that played out. But you can see the genius of Kukurbat, the 350,000 IQ processing unit in his brain, cooking up another amazing draft and showing off more of his favorite girl, Stene, on the front lines.
This is exactly what you go and find Michelin restaurants when you go abroad. It's always there, it's always the same taste, and it's always good. And that's Kukurbat. Man, this guy delivers. His S10 unbreakable.
We had win fast. We were talking about how they want to dominate as quickly as possible, but these guys are hustling. That's why they're hustling baguette. The food's coming out, and it's coming out quick.
The classic is always classic for a reason. And Mozizo, that's plan A gone, but still sticking with Flitica. First pick.
Well, if he chooses to cleave, Flitica is definitely a safe first pick here, just because there's a lot he could pivot into.
Oh.
And it looks like we're still going for the same early picks here.
Similar picks. So
Kukurbat
far.
saying it Kukerbat saying it loud and clear. If you're not going to change your strategy, neither will I. I'm the fortress you have to put down.
Yeah, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So whatever was working the first time, Kukerbat's just gonna keep running it back.
It hurts.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Changing it up. Bryce area with C Pavel this time.
Is it really changing it up, though? Because to me, at least in my opinion here, we picked the Ran last time as a way to enable those defense breaks that we wanted. She seems to be filling a similar role here, and we seem to be doing the same thing, putting out that Elena, and once again the G perk.
Even more defensive tactic from Kukerbat, from all those AoE. Elena for less damage, and Mozizo looking to assassinate one by one. Huh. What do we go for?
I feel assassination might be a hard target here.
Gala
You have the
Lilius?
Bastion of Pollution to go through, but yep, Gala Lilius might be able to do it.
She
if
does
you can't
provide damage.
If you can't control the Crozet, why not kill him? Right?
The penetration? Yes, certainly might be able to see her, depending on the fifth pick.
The penetration putting us in a position to get through this big defense that Kukerbat is presenting Mozizo with.
Do you think this is a good idea?
Okay, interesting.
Flanita.
Flan pickup here.
Oh, more AoE and the boost.
I can't remember, did Kukerbat have any of his units on immunity?
Don't exactly know.
Well, the immunity was provided by the Bastion of Perlucia.
Alright, if
I mean,
that's the case, this Flan's not gonna be bringing a whole lot of value just because that Trozette exists. And if there's gonna be AoEs used, still a lot of value coming in from this Elena here. And with that Violet,
Green
last
Violet.
pick.
Green Violet, could you give me a second? I think my glasses are somewhere here. Oh no, I put them on and that's still a Green Violet in front of me. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Against all the ice units, I think it's a okay choice.
I think it's in one of the better positions for him. Certainly advantaged against this draft.
Looking
And the
for
attack
higher chances.
Can't.
Yeah.
Enough of a.
And that Violet out.
He doesn't get. He's too fancy. We don't need to see. Don't need to see any of his show.
Too
As
fancy,
Kukerbat prepares, stretches, gets into position, Mozizo gets ready to fight back for his team and really put them in a winning position here. He needs to.
I'm surprised that Violet was banned just because the Bryceria was there to deal with the Violet. And now
You're right.
we have a Flan. Does she just go straight into an S2, or does she decide to try to land a defense break on this G perk and this Elena?
Hey, it's a full Ranger team. Kind of uncommon to have this.
Secret.
You're right about that. I didn't even realize it.
And only one debuff lands.
That's nothing. Flan not doing her job
This
perfectly.
is not looking so great for Mozizo.
No, not at all. Oh boy.
Alright, unfortunately he has to use the S3 and the T Crozette there.
There's some skill nils at least. Okay.
Well, if we could get a follow-up here from the Troublemaker. We just need to clear off and get some defense breaks here, and we're back in business. Duck's
area
Knock is
Thor.
procking.
All right, here is the cleanse.
And we cleanse it.
Oh, actually landing these debuffs on Elena.
This sword is the only thing in this world I trust.
Unfortunately, not enough damage to hit that Stene. So
yeah.
now
Wasn't enough to delete her.
Crozette could just cleanse, push up this Stene.
Could also push up the G perk just so that he can cleanse. He can get rid of those defense breaks. I mean those skill nullifiers.
Still going to be putting on buffs on S10. Here is Nightmare.
I will step on you.
And the stun on that C Pavel. Elena's gonna take her turn.
But still says GG. Mozizo saw no chance of himself winning. And says,
if
okay,
he
good
couldn't
game.
kill that Stene for the first time, you know, there's not really much
Sipping
chance
tea.
for him to hit again.
And hosting, here is Kukerbat just drinking some tea. He's like, oh, I can take that all day.
Oh my god. He one-handedly and then had a tea party on his opponent.
Man. He is ready to go, Mozizo. So no way of going out of that action. So It is 2-1, and we will go into set number 4. Again, switching into draft now this time. Can anyone break that S10 from happening? We'll have that answer later on, maybe in the ace match if he comes out once again. Here is Pizza Choo Choo from Attack on Titan and Prof Boy from Hustling Baguette. He 4 players. Anything interesting out of these two?
All I know is Pizza Choo is a salaryman from what Divine has told me. So he's like a 46, 56-year-old salaryman.
I think she should be the oldest among all the players, including the casters too. Including the Korean casters too.
Including the Korean casters as well. You know, my only shame is that at 46, you can't be a salaryman. We need to upgrade Pizza Choo Choo over here to CEO. Start making some investment moves. Maybe hang out with some of our previous players. Investment banking seems to be pretty good of a strategy as far as Samu Gamer and some other people are
talking
about.
Should be contacting Samu Gamer, or at least the general manager position if you are 46. That's the age of Kwang, the Korean commentator, who should be getting married by 46, if he has any more luck. Oh, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, there's a about 15-20 minutes video about from previously about the content creator battle that's available on YouTube. Go check that out. It was pretty fun, actually amazing how you can read faces. Just as a joke here. But tier 4 players, that's about Pizza Choo Choo. Anything else from Prof Boy? We did get some info last week. There's Pizza Choo Choo on screen.
Well, as I was saying earlier, Prof Boy really a wonderful opposite to Pizza Choo Choo, young, 21 years old, meeting varied amounts of success, you know, building his second home, already a well-established forensic investigator with the FBI, actually dealt with some cases that are classified. I can't exactly talk about them, but you know what's not classified? This match and the picks that we have already displayed on board with some probably pretty well established and solid picks for both teams as far as I could see. Knockwall and Navy Captain Landy do get the pickup.
Oh man, it's a great pickup for Pizza Choo Choo. Starting off with Captain Landy, of course a solid pick. In blue, she's going to be picking from the 3 on the bottom. Dark Corvus already up here, Professor Boy. And oh boy, some late game anchor.
Draft is looking good from Prof Boy's side, just because that Knockwall, on paper, is good to deal against the Sage Ball and the Emo Landy.
And Random Violet, I wonder, okay, that bed, the pink bed on the left does look very tidy and made up perfectly. And the best thing about Pizza Choo Choo is that she never has to make her bed. It's always like that.
A permanent bed buff.
Permanent bed buff.
That's not because it's 2D. That's because, you know, Pizza Choo Choo being a 46-year-old salaryman, you don't get to use the bed because there's no sleep for the restless, right?
Because she has wings. She doesn't need to lay down. She's always flying.
You're right. I forgot about that detail. I forget about my demonic lore every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? Was that a demon? Are those demonic wings or like angel wings?
I don't know. I think that's the next question that we have to ask her when we get a chance next time. But what
we'll
about
have to
these picks?
Yeah, what?
It's like a double tail behind her, so I would assume demon wings?
We'll leave the investigating the Prof Boy. Yeah, we get... Ooh, the DDR is always such a nice pickup, but the Holiday U-Fiend coming out here to possibly protect ourselves a little bit and make sure we get a little bit more damage out in case one of our major dealers gets banned out.
How does this look, Pancake?
It's looking better on Prof Boy's side, just because I'm not sure if that Hugh Fiend is gonna do a whole lot into that Arya and the Elena there. And with the Knockwall still on the table, we could possibly be disabling and resetting that Sage Ball, but we don't know how the effectiveness on this Knockwall is looking like.
All right, let's get it down to business. You're set for Pizza Choo Choo, Prof Boy.
Soul Burn, getting that guaranteed reset over here on whatever units it actually lands on.
Not only the guaranteed reset, but the bind on the Navy Captain Landy. We've seen time and time again how effective it is, even though it will be giving us another turn and thus another push-up for the Sage Ball.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunate we didn't hit that Hugh Fiend, so she's just gonna go ahead and cleanse the team here, give everyone that attack buff. So that Landy is brand spanking new. She's still gonna wreak havoc because nothing's stopping her now.
And the response from Milena. And Ino's 2.0. Who also has attack whip, I believe.
There's no reason to hold
Just going
back.
to use S1.
I have to use S1. I hope we get a sleep. Thank God we're not fighting ML Sharoon.
Another
And
resist.
we get nothing from the Sage Ball
Man.
here.
This Arya got coffee ready.
Arya, well known to be packing plenty of ER with her in her kit. Be a little bit hard to sleep her in my estimations.
Unfortunately, the Landy here won't be sleeping, but we could get some Venoms, and we do.
A patient in need of
Possibly get a couple more now that our queen is taking her turn here. Arya setting up a simple S3 boom here in a couple seconds, providing cover for the rest of her team, and with the counter
Yeah, counter attack on top of
attack on her.
Yeah, counter attack on top of
We actually
DDR
get the
buff.
sleep there on the knock wall.
But the barriers still remain, which means we've only got one target to really put our damage out on.
Once we got that blind on the Landy, it's
Counter
actually
attack.
working here.
And here's Arya.
Big demon bird thing,
Laser?
Raven Crawl Crow.
Okay, some good amount
That's a lot of
advantage.
damage.
The response
And
not as strong.
unfortunately, not enough from that Landy. Those barriers are still up on Prof Boy's side.
Although it wouldn't matter, this is going to be AoE regardless, which means it's going to be regardless.
Counter?
Procking another attack.
Oh man,
Now
So many
that Sage
counters.
Ball is gone.
that buff certainly working well from Arya. Venom,
Pizza
detonate,
Choo-Choo.
gone.
If Pizza Choo-Choo wants to claw back into this match, we're going to need counters. We're going to need counters out of our Landy, and we're going to need them quick. Now,
We're
this
need
is going to heal
lots
up the
of
team,
salvos.
And then
but it's
procs
also going
again.
to heal Prof Boy's team as well.
The doctor is in.
Can we get a Venom pop on this Landy here? We do.
Indeed we can.
Unfortunately,
Hey.
not enough damage. Let's see if this Landy survives this. That's a lot of damage. We get
Here's
the
plus
salvo,
one.
more sustain.
Coming back around here to our Misfits turn, but the seal coming out once again. Ooh, but the counterattack will finish off that knock wall for good.
That passive.
And with this Inos here, we're gonna get that cleanse for the Landy, so maybe Landy can keep doing Landy things.
Now the passive is available, and the fighting spirit almost full. That warship's coming soon. Counter.
Another
We got
counterattack.
the Counter, but we did get the blind debuff off, so this is gonna be risky if this Landy decides to use her warship.
Prop Boy's
here.
praying. Prop Boy engaging the power up. The prayer is coming through.
Boy, Prage.
Oh no,
There's miss.
It's
Oh,
just
all
a burn
right.
S1.
Just a salvo fire.
Are you doubting me?
Pizza
Taking
Choo-Choo
that
wants to get
safe
full
approach here.
gauge, full gauge. Okay. Now. Elena.
Kinda
There's a
thinking
skill
harder.
available.
Does he want to use? Oh, he's
Oh,
using
yes.
the S3, but that DDR is taking his turn next, so he's gonna be out of his invincibility.
You'll make an excellent specimen.
We'll have to say goodbye to the bad lad. Another pop on detonate with the damage before he goes. Possibly
Is this the
looking for the
time?
defense break, but it is resisted.
This ML Landy. If you have questions, ooh, just
All
going
right,
to
still
use
the
that one
safe
again.
play, getting that salvo, getting that sustain,
She's
waiting until the
quite
perfect
injured.
opportunity to use that S3. Because at this point, nothing is gonna stop her from using that S3 unless that Arya can land another blind debuff.
That's right. Pizza.
Well, she
Choo-Choo.
might be able to. She can burn for an extra turn here, and she will.
Arya, Venom, detonate.
Heard of shadow elves.
Extra
Touch of rainbow.
damage.
That's a lot.
That's getting
This
close.
Landy's in trouble. But we have no more counter buff on that Arya, so
Oh.
it could be a free hit here.
That decreased hit chance gone.
Oh, Prop Boy in a maze, no weighing, right in
Here
front
is
of our
warship.
eyes.
No weighing. And DDR
Oh,
gone.
dear
Elena's still alive.
Children of the stars
Arya looks plenty healthy to me. I don't know about
Is
you
that
guys,
enough
but
with that much injury?
it does not look
that
like it
Arya's
is.
a raid boss right now. Nothing's taking her down. Especially with the Elena mitigating the S3 damage from the Landy here. That
Wow.
Arya gets to live another turn, and she's gonna get that S3 back, and then what's
And
gonna be killing
Ainos
her?
actually providing some support on the side of Landy.
But that's going to cause Ari to go back into the shadows, and with another demon dog,
That's
bird,
right.
crow, something, this might wipe away those buffs we just put on.
Okay.
It does.
Ainos still up there.
Now he has to get that hit on the Arya, but
counter
I don't know if this Landy's gonna live through this.
is guaranteed, and that's
Oh,
gone.
we got the crit.
Arya, the new queen. Prof Boy, certainly.
Look at the pop off from Prof Boy. Ooh, Pizza Choo Choo looking a little bit sad, but putting in that overtime work. Her and Ainos hanging on a little bit longer than I would have thought, but the match does end up going to our young genius Prof
Oh
Boy.
man, look at the damage from Arya. Oh, that's more than Captain Landy. 77k in total. That's a lot of damage over time. And that's a team built from draft. What a smart strategy from Pop Boy. Pizza Choo Choo was really close, saving that worship. They hit really close towards the end. And also, I think that was Divine.
I was gonna say MVP's going up to the Arya, but I think a lot of the value really came from that Elena, sustaining the team through, cleansing the debuffs, and just putting Prof Boy in a position to buy another turn with that invincibility, and stalling the match out to a point where he could finally grasp victory in his hands.
And another underrated thing a lot of people forget about the Elena is that she does mitigate some AoE damage as well,
Yes.
which there was a lot coming from Pizza Choo's side.
Yeah, that's exactly why we do see her a lot in Arabinth. And Landy picked up again. Pizza Choo Choo having full trust on Captain Landy. And last Rider Craft for Prof Boy, maybe want to tank down a little. There's Infernal Kawazu, one of the great counters. Oh, Lethe. Haven't seen her
Leafy's
in a while.
definitely a good pickup here. A very great pick to deal with Navy Captain Landy as well.
And how fast is this Architect Laika in draft? Do we have an idea?
I actually have no clue. We just have
Should be
to
pretty
assume
fast.
fast enough.
250,
Faster than the
260,
Crow
I
and the
believe.
Lethe.
And on top, Specimen says, who hasn't been getting a lot of action recently.
It's been a sad day for Specimen Says, but Pizza Choo Choo might choose to believe in him. He is a rising star. Maybe a promotion from Corp is in order for this for Specimen Says on left side.
Did we land on a nice tier for Specimen Says? I believe last weekend he was S+ tier. Not really being picked today.
Might have to be put in a tier of his own. But you know who is being picked today? Twisted Eidolon Kayron for some reason.
One win. 1 out of 6, I believe. With
1 out of
Kayron
6.
plus the red Kayron.
If you want to play those odds, you might as well play Russian roulette as far as I'm concerned.
You made us pick a different hero if you want to pick those odds. And talking odds, we do see some more Crown or DN for extra protection. Haven't seen
Both
DN in a
players
while.
opt for
Playing
the
it safe. Yep. Got the Soul Weavers, getting the sustain, the buffs.
Now, all that might be wiped away in a single moment by the Strays. However, I don't believe his speed is better than the Leica, so picking him out here will have him soon blown away. Bissell Euphine could be what Prof Boy eyes, but the Fairy Tale Tenebria might be the one that beat them all. He's taking a quick drink of what I'm assuming is some kind of energy drink. I don't know. The kids are hopped up on all kinds of crap these days.
Okay, Prof Boy, he's calling the police, guys.
He's getting back up! He's getting back up!
He's calling the police. There's too many warships here.
Can't have this in the U.S. land property. We allow tanks, not warships. That's how we like to do it in America, okay?
A lot.
Calm it down.
And here. Oh, Spirit
Alright,
Celine.
if that Emma Leica is going through, or even that Celine, that Luluka on Prof Boy's side needs to be banned because she's gonna stop a lot of these units being used on Pizzachu's side.
Oh, Architect Laika. We'll never get to see how fast she actually is in game. Gets banned, post-ban, and Luluka. Prof Boy in a 1-0 lead. Yes, Vivine?
Interesting note to remind people, the Lionheart Sirmia will activate the Moon Bunny. Now, will that do much? No, it already done her massive cleave, but it'll provide a little bit of additional mitigation afterwards, possibly enough for us to get multiple crowds off, which I'm assuming is a big part of Prof Boy's strategy as he gets engaged, pushing up immediately the Lethe, and we're going to see exactly who she has in mind as her target. It is the Lionheart Sirmia. The clock is ticking.
1 stack there. No soul. No, she does have a free soul burn.
Shall we bring this to
There's a little counter synergy here, considering that we have anti-crit on the Celine.
Oh, that's a lot of damage from the bike.
I believe this is what the goddess wills.
So Tien can provide some barrier and heal up a little bit.
She can provide the barrier, she can provide crit hit resistance, but the team already has the buff, and honestly, not much of this team is critting anyway. We'll find value in the attack buff, however, anyway, especially with a character like Landy on our side. And it is 3 whole turns of that action.
Let's provide that attack up. Now the Spirit Gate. Doesn't matter how much HP you have. If you have these buffs. Another counter from Landy.
Not critting on the Spirit Eye Celine, as you were talking about, Fire Pancakes, an interesting anti-synergy.
Yeah, so unfortunately we're not gonna have any sustain on this Celine. No counters on her end, so this Yufine is freely and safely using her attacks.
I will guide you through the light.
Now with the immortality off, we're in a vulnerable position with our Lionheart.
Yeah, here's the blessing from the end.
This Lethe is about to take her turn with already 1 stack on that Sirmia. Is she gonna survive this Lethe proc?
I can't see it happening, but I'll see the result in a couple seconds here. The setup happens with the free soul burn. Comes at no cost, a little bit of a counterattack, and the follow-up here, charging up the crowd bike and putting up the barriers. Now it's time to see that damage you were talking about, Far Pancakes. Heads or tails, do you think it kills?
I think it kills. The frost debuff is on. Well, actually, there's no mitigation in the first place, but with no mitigation in existence at all, I think that Sirmia is.
Oh!
Wait, what's going on over
Actually
here?
stacks into Celine.
The spiritual energy.
What an amazing play from Prof Boy, who looks like he just 0 IQ through for no reason.
I'm not sure why he gave up his opportunity to just go ahead and get rid of that Lionheart Sirmia there.
What's the 300 IQ play from Prof Boy?
No, that is not a 300 IQ play. That is the head nod of somebody who
Or
missed.
is it 30 IQ play?
Yeah.
Missing a 0 at the end.
Alright, this is
Interesting.
not looking so great. That Lethe is about to disappear before she can even get that Kraken to go off.
Yeah, that Abyss, Call of the Abyss was supposed to be seen, but here's the warship beforehand. The Kraken destroys the ship, so...
And that Lethe's gone, but maybe we can get a carry from this Yufine here. It's not looking so good with
trauma?
that Celine there, though.
I think I see what you were talking about earlier, G-Clef. The police are coming, but they're coming to protect Prof Boy. I'm assuming some of his team not exactly pleased with his performance on that end.
Oh, still holy sacrifice, but the trauma's gone.
But unfortunately, so is a lot of our speed to climb up and really fight these 4 fair maidens that look like they're about to tear and shred us to bits.
I'm pretty sure Pizzachu's team already wins this, just because Prof Boy has already lost all his ways to deal against that Celine, because there's nothing to kill her now.
And that's going to be GG. No skills. Here's a Choo-Choo. Certainly with a lot of skills, we'll be able to bring back 1-1. I'm sure there was a different type of play that Prof Boy was looking for. Don't know exactly what happened on that 3 Omen stacks. But doesn't look quite happy after that phone call. But here we go. It is going to be one more game. And now, Attack on Titan actually on a match point. Pizza Choo-Choo can finish this match. Whoa, was that too big of a mistake from Prof Boy?
Well, the guild that he's in, from what I see, it says Int Express, so maybe he was put in that guild for a reason, and that's what played out in this recent match here.
Whatever the result is, Prof Boy's going to have to pray it doesn't repeat itself. As we get into one more match and one more Navy Captain Landy making the appearance with Abyssal Euphine. He's stacking the board right now.
I know, both for Prof Boy. And he selects Abyssal Euphine on top.
How do you feel about the Abyssal Euphine versus the Navy Captain Landy Fart Pancakes?
It's really RNG because the Landy, she pops off as long as she's actually countering and not getting crit. But at the same end, MLU Fiend can be great if she actually lands her attack down and makes it to her trauma.
So it does take time and a whole lot of counters. We'll see how this goes. Zio picked up starting the game, first pick.
That Kawazu's definitely a good pickup there, just because he's guaranteed his proc from either DC Lilius bringing him vigor or just that Euphine taking one turn at all.
Mort. Am I talking the wildest idea of all time? An Arbiter Mildred. Even better.
Alright, interesting pickups here because Prof Boy is definitely guaranteed the turn 1.
Yeah, not only is he guaranteed the turn 1, I'll guarantee he picks up the Assassin Cartusia. No, I'm wrong about that. I apologize. I knew this guy liked to gamble, but playing it a little bit safer, especially considering what happened last match. Or what didn't happen last match, I should say.
Secondary option, BBK. You can still survive. Oh, Bloodblade Karin!
Picks from both sides.
Okay, some back and forth, back and forth. Some secondary options. RB can come back, or BBK can sustain and survive. The damage source is certainly there. But what's the post ban?
I'm not sure if RB's gonna do a whole lot here, just because that ML Ken and the ML Landy do exist there. As much as I love RB, unfortunately, I do not think this is the playing field for him.
So you're gone, Acid gone from the field.
Prof Boy just seeing too many ways to easily counter that Lionheart Sermia. Even though we didn't see her activate last time, she certainly would this match.
All right, game 3. Pizza Choo-Choo on a match point for Attack on Titan. Prof Boy has to win if we want to go to ace match.
I am the rightful ruler of this.
Here's Zio, S3.
Hoping and praying, looking for the strip and the pushback. And the silence, yes.
Looking good so far.
The silence really important here because Kawazu guarantees so much when he can get access to Vigor. And there's only 2 ways, and we seem to be denying both with the gap proc here.
Basket.
Greater attack! Boy's face over there. I think things are not happening the way he wants it to happen.
Okay, he's gone, but immediately back.
Thank God we have the Euphine here, cutting off his CR so he doesn't just immediately take another turn.
If you wish to live.
Alright, let's see where we get the duel with the C. Lilius.
And Inferno Kawazu with the burn. Ken doing some action.
Crit.
This is going to have to be an ML Ken showcase. In a couple seconds, he might be the only one to survive.
Oh, it's a whole lot of buff and Vigor up.
Your opponent.
Here's RB with attack
RB's
down though.
Dead? Yeah, no damage coming out from him, and then gonna get the response from the ML Ken here, getting punched in the face.
Do you hear it? It's the approaching ruin!
Alright, looks like he's gonna get kicked in the face instead.
And a
he's
big counter.
It's lowering the health on the Karen. You know she does more damage the lower her health is, and she's at 1 measly pixel of HP, but that's
blade.
enough for her to rip and tear.
The red is from the blood.
The kill meaning she gets another turn here.
And who do we go for?
I think the move is obvious. It's got to be the Ken.
Oh!
We got that Wind Rider proc.
And one more.
Got the attack buff, got the vigor. If we pull in a duel from this BBK, there is a chance that BBK is gonna carry this.
Vigor on vigor. No, we don't need to even touch that at all because we have Kawazu here, and he's about to take her to the cookout.
That's right. He flies for that massive kick.
And down, there goes the proc with the fully stocked, mind you, fighting spirit. It's time for the trauma to come out as a massive cleave from Prof Boy has to be the end of Pizza Choo Choo here. But it isn't.
She's back. Takes massive speed buff. Who do we
gotta
go
think
for?
carefully. Sea Lilies enables multiple people. Kawazu's kicks hurt with the burns afterwards. The BBK needs to go.
One gone.
Risking multiple hits here, but a counter could also save us.
This trauma. And that's
way too many
damage from the trauma. And Frog Boy cannot do this. Pizza Choo Choo will deliver 2-1 victory of the set and the win for the entire match. That was a close one until the end.
Prof Boy, have a fun time talking about those matches over with your team.
Oh man,
we'll say that much.
Prof Boy, just not enough. Good job, RB. I've seen you in a while. I actually provided some damage and a BBK action. I loved it.
Yeah. The Gab always comes in handy.
I mean, that's trauma. That's trauma for you. Sometimes you do get that massive damage and eating up that pizza, I see. Yes, I do want to get
I had to fit the joke in.
You had that ready to go. I love it. But that's the match. I mean, sometimes the draft works for you, sometimes it doesn't. And that's the reason why in the future we'll get some extra helping hand. The reroll function and some selective function, it seems like that's also coming. So draft mode, the draft arena is going to be a lot more fun in the future, but still, it's still very fun if you want to have some, if you are new to the game, if you have a friend that's been playing for a long time, you can still go out and have a mock battle for ice cream. I think that's the perfect mode.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about draft mode is that it levels out the playing field for everybody. So no matter at what point you join the game, everyone has the same units with great gear. And with these draft mode updates coming, we're gonna not only have that reroll function, but we're gonna have additional builds on different units as well.
Yeah, and a lot of units profit and do well when they have access to those multiple builds. We already saw a perfect example actually earlier today with the special with the ML Ida, the Solitaria, probably one of the best units to get that change to her. We do see a little bit of love in the chat. Kasumi patting on the back her fellow VTubing friend on her birthday as well. Happy birthday to you, Kasumi.
Oh, it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Kasumi.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And here, that's the match result. 3-1 victory for Attack on Titan, as a lot more of you have predicted. That's goodbye for Hustling Baguette. But make sure to go follow and check these content creators out. Reroll You, Mr. Pong, Cookerbat, Prof Boy from Hustling Baguette. To the end of tournament for them. But here is the match result of today. The semifinals all over, and at the end we do have Win Fast and Attack on Titan going against each other. The grand finals, one match to solidify everything. Let's see who takes that big amount of Sky Stones at the end. Now this is one prediction that you guys might be looking for. Let's see what the prediction looks like tomorrow.
I think in my heart of hearts, my brain is telling me Win Fast. My heart is telling me Attack on Titan, and I'm pretty dumb, as you might know. So I'm going all in on Attack on Titan.
Well, both teams are equally strong. I think both teams have an equal chance of winning it, especially with RNG in favor of either side. But because I did mention I'm a big Elf Mage fan, so naturally I have to go vote for him and hope his team win and give me the free energy for this coming weekend's buffs.
Oh, I know it's a big amount of gap between if you get it right or wrong. I think was it 160 to 320?
Yeah,
I think
320
so.
was the max,
Yeah, so I think there's a pretty big gap in terms of amount of energy. 160 is actually pretty big. And especially with the new expedition changes that's coming up real soon, I wonder how that's actually going to be coming out in the details. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there has been somewhat of a reveal of future content, future upgrades, future changes, and future heroes that's going to be coming out on our EpicSeven YouTube. So make sure to go check them out. Couple of express mails from Maryland, also, of course, the best mail that you can ever get, and that's available since last night, so make sure to go check those out. And that's it for the semifinals today. How did you guys enjoy those matches? A lot less specimen sets than I expected. Basically 0 tonight. Quite of a surprise.
Yeah, I was hoping to see more like Hua Young, because I hear Hua Young's pretty good. I think she could have fit in a lot of situations here. Unfortunately, we didn't see her drafted once.
0 time. She didn't even come out at all.
Well, I think a lot of tonight was people watching the matches of their opponents after the last time and trying to find specific strategies and techniques to counter them. And I think Spez is certainly a great pick in a more standard format, but when you're looking for utility picks, characters that specifically shut down functions of other units, damage isn't always the way to go.
Yes, and the prediction poll, the survey, I don't think it's up yet, but it'll be open real soon, so make sure to go participate before tomorrow. So there's less than 24 hours to participate, so you might actually forget. So make sure to go in, and it should be open real soon in less than an hour. So make sure to participate and not lose that free energy, as we always love to see. I mean, some great actions today, and maybe tomorrow will be some different type of story. I think what today was basically what we see more often from RTA, a lot more Landy, a lot more Bissell Yufine. We didn't really go towards those outliners as we have seen from the quarterfinals, which was quite unexpected. But I think that's about it for us. For our Pancakes, any last words you want to provide before we close?
Well, I'm hoping for more interesting and exciting games tomorrow. Hoping we see more variety in units being drafted. So we'll just have to stay tuned and see what these guys can cook up.
Yep, and Divine, final words before we close?
Well, every show has to have its end, and for me, it always ends in one clear way. We return back to darkness, ladies and gentlemen. I can finally get this obnoxious light down out of my room. I don't like light. I'm not a big fan. Not the player, like physical. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you know what I'm saying. I'm
now
not.
We know.
I
you
like
don't
it
like
dark.
Light. Okay. Now we know. He said it officially, guys. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the desk of our Pancake. Divine, always pleasure to have you. But that's it. That's going to be it for day number 3, as we had the semifinals quite early of a day, actually, even though we did have a 3-0. So I think that kind of made the day a little faster. But maybe some more action from Hwayoung, Spez. Maybe that it's being cooked at the moment. After the balance patch, we've had a week.
Jugs Kisei action, please.
Judge Kisei,
that is top line gear you're asking for.
I'm sure these guys can pull it off. Okay, we got Elf Mage, we got Valky, we got Jenna. These guys have great gear. Let's see some Jugs Kisei,
I'm
please.
sure it might be possible. We've had a Kairon win today, so a lot of things in the air still trying to be solved. Oh yes, Divine, you need some water. I know. Got to stay hydrated, everyone. But that's gonna be it for us. That's Divine. Any final words?
I drink every time he wins. That's it. I drink every time Kairon wins.
All right. I'll close right here. Day 3, Content Creator Battle continues on the final day. Do not miss the grand finals, and make sure to go through the predictions. If you have not seen the updated contents in the future, go to our EpicSeven YouTube and subscribe, and alerts on so you don't miss any video that's coming up later on. But that's going to do it. I'm G-Clef, Bar Pancakes. Divine, thank you for coming on the desk. Thank you for enjoying day number 3. Have an epic day, and see you all tomorrow for more and the grand finals of CCP.
Good night.
Jesus, speak Kairon, Kenny, I said it! What the? It is over! Show me one more, the 1-2. 초비상. 끝내야 할 때 마무리가 안 되고 나니까 이게 올라가는 일만 있고.